front of you. Sorry about that, y'all. My overlay disappeared. Get into it then. We have Geko is Dizzy versus Gojira, Joose then, and a great H. Michael sword to start us out. Not even giving them a projectile to hit quite with that flick so far then, but gonna actually spend that blue wall salt to get in, get the wings on deck. These wings are so scary. We saw in the last Jeekly as well. Once those wings are on deck, players tend to be a lot more scared here, Yukio, about those pressures that continue to come up.
100%, especially with the way that Geko is getting these knockdowns so far. Gets a big jump in, but the FD's coming out. Big freeze, wings of light pop. We might see a TOD here, but no, not enough meter. Trying to get a chance here. Gojira jumping around, maybe trying to use that JD just doink. 6H, get a little bit of that guard crush. 2K gets backdash. Now we're back at that spacing again, Ganyon. Getting that H. Michael sword, that slide head to get in, gets a big hit. Geko does not have that much health right now. Not a lot of health on Dizzy. Gets the Ganter Kai, gets the 6H, gets the Heat Knuckle, wall break, gonna kill. That's our first round.
Yeah, pretty hype start of the round there as well. But kind of seeing just the value there. It's like Dizzy gets to do a lot. Pot has to kind of be a bit of a spectator at times, but all it takes is that one hit, that run sequence, and the health bar will evaporate. But another great wings activation there, this time catching Pot on that backdash, then sets up the fish. Meter still building up over half a bar retention then, and not even getting a hit, drained a good amount, but a great far slash there by Gojira. Gonna go ahead and stop that Dizzy pressure, and actually catches the wake up 2K with that pop buster here again. Sets up the meaty window, trades actually, but doesn't get the full sequence then. It's still a hard knockdown. We are willing to send that blue wall assault, mashes on the as well. Oh my gosh, and despite it looking like it's gonna go to Gojira here, Geko is slowly fighting back. Oh, I play the neutral again, jump in JH.
One great thing that's happening here with Geko getting that round on the board, but also winning that resource battle, you know, getting in Gojira's phase, forcing out those deflect shields, forcing out all that metered interaction, especially with trading with that Ganter Kai, but now we're seeing it once again. These FDs are coming out, the deflect shield comes out, gets a good poke though, that's Midas a little bit, back it up, Hammerfall gonna get the big hit here, going back, Ganter Kai, Garuda going in for more, and look at how Geko is trying to find a way out. These pokes are unrelenting. Big 5K. Gotta watch out for that reversal super. Gets baited but can't poke back.
Absolutely, but keeps Geko just stuck in this corner. Geko has just been a spectator for so long here, and a simple RC route sending them through the wall. Gonna go ahead and get that first game over to Gojira, and like despite a lot of good, essentially what I'll call your Dizzy sequences from Geko so far, it just Pot was inevitable, right? He gets that one hit, built up enough risk with and some meter, spends it on a simple hit confirm off of that frame trap, and cleans up that first game.
Oh, 100%. You know, one thing that I've been seeing a lot of is how Gojira is using these what's the move? Garudas, and using them for that meaty pressure, but Geko is kind of representing how you can normally backdash those later active frames. Garuda being a great meaty move, but we're going in here. Gojira already using that burst, gets over the 2K, goes for the JD, jumping in the air, Goomba stomping, gets the burst, goes for the pot buster, 50 meter, and this round's not looking great for Geko, jumps over the grab, and it's over as soon as it started. First round of the second game going to Gojira.
Yeah, just the, once again, pressure just not letting up here, but we are fighting back with the sword, but a wake-up option was not meaty enough. PV picks it up here again. Definitely forget, but there it is, H. Michael sword. I swear, I think most of the hits from Geko has come from H. Michael so far in this set, but yeah, both players kind of finding that mid-range with Gray S sword into the RC, beats out that armor, and get that knockdown with that ice. Set up the wings here, ooh, and slides right through with the close slash. I think as long as he can finish this route, it should let the wings activate just in time for the kill, but another wake up Potemkin buster, and if we can get the right route, this could be another game going to Gojira here. Heat Knuckle into the window. Does not combo into it then. Still a chance. Oh my god. And the Fire Dagger actually does it.
Oh, wow. What an insane back and forth round for both these players. Geko and Gojira playing to the best of their ability, using these resources, and we see the pot monster once again. We've seen it on Wake Up. We've seen it in Pressure. We see these buttons coming out, giving Geko such a hard time. The Kara Buster gets the game. Gojira going up 2-0. And I believe that first round was a perfect also. I think maybe getting some steam going, trying to get things up and, you know, just going. But we have seen Geko make some great comebacks in the past. I know that I've commentated a couple of their games where some kind of switch just flips and they understand that counterplay. So this is definitely not over yet.
Absolutely. Geko fans in the chat cheering on this Dizzy. So let's see if we can get some games on the board. But Gojira so far is able to maintain that pressure, keep their sequences going. A lot of these jump options as well, just to kind of see if Geko's able to respond. Tries to backdash off of that wall salt that has to spend the burst on getting hit, but sends in the jump in as well again. And it just feels like we've been here, a story as old as time. Just this poor Geko getting walked to this corner, setting up the window, and we have Gojira here on set point.
Oh, but the backdash reading out the Kara grab on round start does let Geko get into that range where they want to be. Gets a big 2D, gonna get a nice conversion off of this, but no, the ice spike doesn't hit exactly how we want. No freeze there, we're going back to neutral. Gets another big counter hit, uses it to get some guard crush. The deflect shield coming out from Gojira, able to PRC, keep it safe, gets another big counter hit, and that's one thing we've been seeing for this round. Geko is able to make Gojira press at those wrong times, able to really get a good guess in it. What a conversion off of the air. Fish gets a perfect of their own, and now that seam is starting to come up once again, tied up 1-1.
This is not a character you want to make the wrong decision against if those wings are able to be routed into with the meter. But a great 2K star that could clip off there. Should be able to finish, and the OTG, and you are dead. Geko heard the pleading cry of the chat and put a game on the board. That was so incredibly well routed here, getting those wings active, using the blue wall salt essentially to set up these sequences here. It's very fortunate they had enough meter as well, because it's kind of like a locked out animation of throw where the damage doesn't tick. So definitely worked out in the best case scenario. Good stuff to Geko here. We're going into game 4, y'all.
You know, that was some insane routing by Geko. I just want to highlight that. That was almost a TOD on Potemkin. Like, that's crazy to me, but getting a chance to go back here, and you know, Gojira using that burst as soon as possible really does not want Geko to be able to get those wings of light up, get that meter, responds with the pot buster. Look at all that help chipped off. This is our staple grappler here. Goes in, gets a big hit, but the combo doesn't end up working how we wanted to. Uses that Roman cancel to continue, gets the far slash baited out, and now Geko's back in the lead here. No resources on the side of Gojira, but the armor from the hit makes the pot buster stay active for longer, and Geko jumps into it. What an unfortunate way to lose that round and go on set point for Gojira.
Absolutely. Just a pot privilege moment where you get the auto-correcting pot player off of the armor. So definitely a rough day to experience here, but great IAD over that side head as well here from Geko. Go ahead and get the ice started, then knocked down, but tries to get a little too fishy with it, and the buster is gonna catch them on wake up. Tries some VRC over, but the 2H is gonna clip here. Geko trying to set I can respect that desire, but the pot buster gonna catch it, and we're gonna send it off. We're scooping the deck, and that is gonna be 3-1 for Gojira.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, coming into our next set here, we're going to have two GOATs of the game. Calamarikurusu, an incredibly strong Zato. If you haven't seen her, I have had the privilege of playing her offline as well, versus ScaryEsquire here on that Millia. So Zato Millia then, you know, a bit of a lore battle in some ways, but kind of curious to see who can get that nice setup. I can imagine that Zato just can't really, you know, do, as most of us cannot chase this character in the air, so getting that knockdown into that mix is going to be so important here in the matchup.
strong YRC there by ScaryEsquire, showing a little bit of knowledge in the matchup, but, you know, Zato pressure and Zato conversions really do make things hard to get out of. Jumping forward, gets that turbo fall, goes for the Artemis, but JH gets a big conversion into the knockdown. Age disc, but what a reversal, getting a chance to get things started here. Look at that pressure. I know I for sure got hit. Look at this conversion, gets all that meter back, gets a hard knockdown, and gets the screen passed over.
Absolutely, and shout out to Calamari for doing a wake up, like the wake up projectile reflection option from Zato there, essentially turning off the Millia disc. I have to imagine that's the one essentially to beat any of the non-meaty ones. So very, very, you know, early on we're seeing some, you know, intentional character counterplay kind of thing here, and yeah, it's so tough to use your burst against a character like Zato. So very much not too surprised to see them take the first game, but let's see if Scary can adjust as we get into game 2 here. Maybe fish a little bit better around that Zato. Just get that simple 2K 2D and start that Millia blender.
Exactly, you know, it's really important that you get these big hits like that counter hit hair carpet. Put yourself inside the corner. What a 6P from Calamari. Gets that big JH pressure started, getting a little bit of that pierce, a little bit of that poke, a little bit of that shimmy, but the YRC gonna come out. Gets rid of Eddie. We have the burst, gets some of that active pressure. Look at how we're playing neutral getting on it. So patient from both sides, but whenever Millia gets in, things go well. The IV on the Artemis to stop that -2 pressure, kind of getting things back in, but the YRC is coming out from ScaryEsquire so often, really trying to control Zato and Eddie on the screen.
Yeah, and it just, Scary is just not trying to have to block Zato, because then having to realize that they are not allowed to jump anymore against a lot of these sequences, but is able to fight out there, and Millia will just hold up any chance she gets to. She does not want to interact on the ground with so much of this cast, but oh, and ends up getting hit. I'm wondering if that was essentially like a throw attempt on one of Millia's less, you know, kind of real options there, and ends up getting clipped by that close slash. The Millia close slash, definitely a spooky button for any character with low HP, so there. Oh, and a great bad base on the gold burst.
What a burst bait from Calamari. Gets a big tap dust combo. Refreshes that Eddie Gauge 2K 2D. Gonna go in for the amorphous. Big damage coming out here. Sharky bite, chomp, chomp. You know the vibes. Gets the poke into the 2S. Continues the combo to the screen. 2K 2D. Tap dust. High, low, left, right. Strike, throw. Can never go wrong. Calamari gets another round on the board.
You know, I don't know if Zato's doing all that, but hey, it definitely feels like it sometimes when sequence numbers end. But here we go. Gonna go ahead and once again, Scary just feel like they find themselves getting boxed in by Calamari's pressure. And I love this use of the BRC there, just to kind of provide some like strong, essentially, you know, gapless things there, delay your button presses, which is essentially just buying you time for building up your Zato, meet your Eddie Gauge back. So Calamari, both Scary with and without Zato on the screen. You're just very much seeing that so far, but you know, Scary did at least answer back a round in that game too. Maybe we can see 2 rounds here going into game 3 as well. But you know, Calamari, if anyone's been paying attention to the online space as well as what's available in some of those Midwest locals, you definitely will see her name there, and you know, gapping on the Zato. But y'all, we're getting into game number 3 here. If you believe in ScaryEsquire, send them your energy right now.
One thing that we've really been seeing here is it's a battle of resources. Burst, deflect, shield, YRC, BRC for combos and pressure setups from Calamari, and what great defensive options from both these players, understanding what you can do with each, but this mix from Zato is so strong right now. That hard knockdown, you know, we're staring a bad situation in the face right now. If we're Scary, goes for the approach, those slight backwalks are trying to bait the YRCs, because Calamari is so cerebral right now with it and showing that she's on set point.
It's just an absolute privilege of a character like Zato, not having to put himself in danger of these reversal, you know, essentially like, you know, fighting back defensive mechanics in YRC and burst. So great usage so far, but Scary taken to the skies as Millia will do, and an IED-JH to open up the Zato health bar, and there's not much health to work with. This man is made of paper, and Scary answering back, taking us to round 3.
He gets another big counter hit, trying to get that poke out, wasting that Eddie gauge here, but Calamari so smart, calls it back, gets a frog loop, gets a pressure reset, but what a burst! Catching them whenever they're underneath. That invite, break the law, used to be able to bait burst, but we're not in season 1 anymore. Look at these, getting those compels to try and get that pressure, that left-right sequencing so strong from ScaryEsquire, and the pressure just doesn't end, but a big 6P will get things started for Calamari. Might get a wall-to-wall here. 2S, 2H has the sword, gonna break the wall, and with you're one hit away for both of these characters. Millia doing such high damage, the deflect shield gonna come out, but Calamari finds a way to win it.
Calamari gonna take that 3-0 over ScaryEsquire. We have Kriby on that Happy Chaos versus Christian Crab on the Asuka, a battle of projectiles. And, you know, Hack Fraud said it best in chat. Sometimes hearing these characters' names just kind of makes you mad. So definitely an understandable state. So we'll see who can make each other more mad. And a great backdash baiting out the burst option. Not something you want to be dealing with, but able to respond, at least be able to run up, get a couple cubes, keep that pressure going. I think a YRC got dialed in here as well, but the super came out. This mana is just draining down. There's the YRC coming out, so it did still follow up after that, but these cubes, they keep on going, just trying to answer back. But that is a speed staff you're trying to swing into. Definitely one of the best aspects of Asuka's kit.
100%. Both these characters being resource characters, you kind of saw Kriby already fall to that, losing that focus whenever trying to FD out, and now Christian Crab putting the first round on the board, but both these characters are still in a very young set state, you know, getting things started, first round on the board, getting that big press, getting the JS to go in. You seeing that meter slowly being dwindled down, but what a smart play by Christian Crab, getting some space, using that 2D, getting a big conversion here, getting that corner carry, using the burst, getting that focus shot, and now we're back in neutral. Christian Crab finding a way to get a combo, get a wall bounce, has to cut the combo short though.
And I kind of like that, because, like, essentially, like, are you really trying to play neutral against Happy Chaos? Then you can keep him stuck in a corner, not let him be able to pull the gun out then. This constant state of resets was such good optimization there by Christian Crab. And just like that, they sealed out the first game already. Kriby felt like they barely even got to play in that second round there. Just really good optimization of what cubes they were using, essentially also covering a lot of those frame traps with those screamers as well. Like, definitely very, very good optimization then already in that first game. But we've all fought Happy Chaos before. All he needs is to get that one knockdown, set up some of that roll mix, probably even put curse on you. You definitely have to adjust the way you play.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, that could be said for both characters. That pressure just starting to really mount, and you have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to kind of change almost everything about your playstyle, it seems. I've been trying to learn this matchup myself on the front for trying to learn how to fight Asuka, but I don't really have the tools that Happy Chaos has, and Kriby showing us the strength that this character has, getting that mana off of the board, getting that pressure started, gets the wall break, has the curse, 2K, 2D, gun flip, gets the Deus Ex Machina, gonna break the wall and get the round, showing that they definitely have fight in this with a perfect.
Yeah, definitely. And this, I think this is kind of essentially how this matchup are going to go. Both these characters essentially just maul the other once the knockdown is acquired. Once again, you're seeing another kind of obvious setup again, where they are just choosing to not break the wall until essentially necessary, which is great. Get a little bit more damage that way. Gets the curse still set up going through it as well. Now the reapplication of the curse, but catching the backdash with a close slash, a doom starter to have. This is going to do a ton of damage here, going through the wall. That mana shield is longed for at this point. No meter for any YRC. Sends it with the gold burst then. A little bit of dash blocking trying to make the way through. This is so scary. You spend any of that meter on FD for these gunshots, and you're gonna lose that life. But a great shimmy then in a wizarding battle. Then with the throw, gonna set them up again. A meaty icicle gets the bookmark super, tries to call in the better projectiles. But a simple run-up 5D with the gun. I call it simple, but when you have a gun behind it, it's pretty damn scary. But a great answer back by Kriby here, game 2, bringing it to 1-1.
Exactly. You know, you can kind of start to tell that this set's probably going to be really close. Both these players have pretty decent knowledge about how these characters work and kind of using the fact that they're resource characters against them, forcing the use of meter and things like that to kind of to make them use their resources to approach and make applying that pressure harder. It's two things that definitely make me interested in this set, but look at Christian Krab acknowledging that they were able to get that with the 2K2D roll, but gets bursted out. Now we're so low on mana, so low on resources, has a run up in the face, use some of that health, but now the YRC gonna come out, stop the mix from happening. Backs up, gets the focus, knows they can't really be touched. 2K2D gun flip, and we've seen it once, we're gonna see it again. They use it, lock it.
Yeah, going through the wall, mana shield broken, and even if you do find the knockdown, the cards are just so kind of essentially whatever for Asuka at this point. Oh, actually slingshots off the wall, holds forward on the tech, able to get a throw on their way in and thrown back into the corner. And despite it being kind of a spooky spot beforehand for Christian Krab, they are finding that option to fight back. A great far slash on Kriby to get it started, but that immediate burst to keep that sequence going. Bursting your opponent back in the corner, tried to IED over, gets caught by the super. Likely going to be the end for Kriby in this round here, and a great answer back by Christian.
Christian Krab is just really riding this momentum right now, running forward, but can't get everything you want. Curse, making it so hard to approach or even move versus Happy Chaos in some instances. Joose gonna get the focus shot, goes up into the air, no resources on the side of Christian Krab, builds back that 50 burst, but is it going to be enough to secure this round? We're gonna have to see post wall break. Deus Ex Machina seen it once. We're gonna see it again. Gets the shot. No focus. Has a chance to reload on that focus too. What the hell was that conversion?
The Goomba Stomp combos never look real, Ukio. I cannot lie. But yeah, that was such a spooky spot because if Christian Krab found the hit, they actually had such great cards for the sequence, but that is unfortunately a reality that is no longer the one front. Oh, a great carry cancel on that card cast, make you a little bit closer than getting on that knockdown, but a YRC, we all thought it would help us in against Happy Chaos, but essentially just made the character even better on his own defensive choices. Ooh, backdash not getting caught by the cube, it was not quick enough there. A great 6K to start the low, actually shimmies over to get more out of it, catching that backdash, so we know Happy Chaos is able to do that here. And Christian is routing that pressure for it. A 5D RC is blocked then, but not ready for the low immediately after. Screamer to keep it going. At any clip should be able to do it. They'll put him into the wall, doesn't able to burst just last second. So spooky here, but an IED JP to keep it going. BRC catches the backdash again, but no full pickup off of that 2P, but a 2D actually is gonna seal it out. Health bars blinking on both sides, but Christian Krab wins out in the scramble.
I mean, not to mention, just look at how Christian Krab was making sure those resources stayed on their side during the scramble. Kriby only having one bullet that entire time makes poking a neutral so incredibly hard, especially versus a character that can poke back with those cubes and setting up spheres and stuff like that make it just so hard to run away and get out of pressure, as we've seen so far from Christian Krab.
Yeah, shout out to Christian Krab's win quote, beat you fair in cube. You love to see it. You love to see it. So yeah, it's been very, very impressive so far. I've seen the adjustments by both sides here. Like, you need to be confident in reading not only, you know, like the cards from Asuka, but the, you know, the bullets from Happy Chaos. Like, you need to be aware of your opponent's resources, right? And that's beyond just if it's just their burst resources, if it's tension resource too. Individual resources for a lot of characters do really matter in kind of what they're going to be willing to pick. So going into game 4 here, y'all, Christian able to at least get the first sequence started and a simple frame trap with that blue cube to get us there. But it is Happy Chaos time and an immediate burst back as well. Neither of these players wanted to play defense.
Oh, 100%. And both these characters, neither one of them have that great of defensive options, right? On Happy Chaos, you got the backdash, but you don't really have that great of options to really poke with. You got a 5-frame 2P, and on the other side of Christian Krab and Asuka trying their best with the defensive options right now, relying on those system mechanics, but also falling to the same volley, you know, and again, not really having that great of a backdash, not really having that great of poke options, and it really does make it hard to get out of this pressure that Kriby is kind of exerting, putting this round on the board.
Oh my gosh, and Asuka there almost able to convert off an air JP to get it going, but still pretty happy with where we're at, able to do almost 50% from 2 sequences so far. here, and that mana still building up as well. Positive both working in our favor. Gonna send that burst just so we can start utilizing these resources we have. Not the best cards at this point. That's one of the issues with test case 3. It can be kind of tough to essentially have the right setup going into it here, but we did get the Galaxy Cube set up here again. Waves coming in. Essentially one of the best strike throw characters with a bit, and I'm wondering if that is the illustrious teleport that does side switch you on the teleport frame. I believe that is what Christian just hit Kriby with.
Oh, that's so evil. Back up against the corner. Can't think he can get a quarter steal there, but it ends up working. The tap dust coming out from Kriby, though, giving them a taste of their own medicine with this bullets and pressure. Gets the focus, has the wall slump, gets the Deus Ex Machina, breaking the wall, getting that hard knockdown, and Christian Krab's kind of in a bad spot. 2K2D ends up getting the hit. You're running low on mana, you're running low on resources. Burst and tension are the only thing you really have right now.
Yeah, pretty thankful to at least have some of that mana shield there to survive that Deus Ex. So good at guts crushing. And you definitely don't have any guts when you don't have the armor, so feeling like this sequence could be fairly rough here. A battle of PRCs and a 6P normal hit to keep it going. No resource for the side of Kriby besides a deflect shield if they want it. Christian Krab, keep it. Oh, it actually picks up off of the 6H2. Oh, baits out the gold burst as well. Christian was so ready for what Kriby had in the pocket, and they are going to be rewarded with taking that set 3-1. Absolutely. Coming up, y'all, we are having Kaneda on the Sin versus Lasagna Slayer on the Goldlewis, and a battle of Titans. Essentially, you know, characters that are not in necessarily their best states since they're, you know, coming to Strive. Sin releasing pretty poorly and then becoming Thanos at a certain point. Goldlewis kind of essentially having a, you know, somewhat similar journey as well. And so see where the characters both are at right now. Still incredibly strong despite some of those here. And Kaneda showing why this strike throw in the corner can be so spooky. The great block on the overhead by Lasagna to be able to fight back. But Goldlewis has to do it with a good 2P timing, or if they can get 50 with that super, and showing you that no reversal can make this strike throw pressure feel like it never ends.
100%. Kaneda just doing such a great job of representing these high-low options, how that gazelle step can be used to get that strike throw started, but now gets a big conversion, has the stamina to convert. It doesn't even have to use that much. Still has 2 stamina in the chamber. Gonna grab that positive bonus, has that orange wild assault, but we got the air taunts coming out from Lasagna Slayer. Gonna get a great big backdash, gets the 6P, trying to get something started here. Gets the JD, taking big man Millia form with the JH. Now getting in with that guard crush. Kaneda trying their best to resist the FDs coming out, and finds a way to poke. All the resources are still on the side of Kaneda. Gets a big hit, has the conversion, rides the lightning.
There you go. Definitely what you want to be hearing as you putting your opponent through the wall, and positive bonus ringing in true. But a great 2P from Lasagna to set the sequence back. Gonna have to spend the burst on that hit though, sending the burn it down. Goes for the burst bait as well. OTG with the behemoth to answer back, and you did have to spend the burst then, but at least you get that round 3. Definitely a better place to be than going into a whole next game. But a wild assault route to Sig, able to get a quick bite to eat while we're on the way there. Talk about fast food.
Oh yeah, 100%. Keeping the flow of things, try to grab that bite and keep it going, but a big 2K coming from Lasagna Slayer. All the meter on the side of Kaneda though, doing such a great job of managing this, but we still have all of our security. Has the 2K, gets the big hit, puts out the drone, mind neutral, you can't have it, gets the deflect shield, has the punish. We're doing so much damage with these behemoth typhoons. No hard knockdown though, but the JD into the first behemoth gets a game on the board. Lasagna Slayer closer to that top 24 berth.
Yeah, really good stuff from Lasagna, despite kind of giving up that first round. Even also had to spend their burst going into the third one as well. So it's like, you know, you kind of you start off on like a necessarily like the wrong foot, and then you also have to spend the resource to even make it to the third round. But that's why, you know, proper management, really only using those tools when you feel like you have to, definitely can come out in your favor if you just keep the game plan there. And if the game plan is just make sure they block a bunch of behemoths, keep on swinging, you know? So great stuff, Lasagna.
Oh, 100%. You know, both these players doing such a great job at applying pressure. That's one thing that's been noticed to me. You know, obviously we got the good defense going because you can't have good pressure without some good defense to kind of force you to adapt. But getting a big drone inside of neutral, letting you approach the JH, said it once, gets the big man, Millia overhead, gets the ground bounce, gets the tumble, puts you into the conversion of the twisties, gets the OTG, goes for the jump fuzzy pressure, and you dead. Lasagna Slayer putting a round on the board.
Yeah, and I love that because had they just gone for an option to put them in the wall, there's a good chance Kaneda would have not lived. So set up the guarantee mix section that ended up killing with the fuzzy. And here we are seeing again, this sequence just happened earlier, but this time we were able to fight out with a DP here from Kaneda. Definitely down, not quite out then. Let the drone play the sequence for you. It's like calling you're an assist and you're not even playing a tag game, but another DP gonna stop Lasagna's pressure again. Gets that throw option. Slight delay on that close slash to catch any wake up timing. It's gonna send out the Skyfish to drain a little bit of that meter from Kaneda, but there is the hit. Finding the option, gonna come through the wall likely with that Tyrant Barrel and positive bonus here, keeping Kaneda in it, but no stamina, no meter quite yet, but a close slash starter is only round to super. Should be enough to answer back, and we do, keeping themselves in this game 2 here. We're going to round 3.
What a big hit there from Kaneda, realizing they had the stamina to convert, getting that round, gets the burst bait though from Lasagna Slayer, able to get something started. You guessed wrong on the overhead, goes for an empty drone, letting the drone cover the path, and now we're kind of just backing up in neutral, but what a big counter hit. You're stuck in the pressure. There's only so much you can do. Such a great round from Kaneda last round, but Lasagna Slayer able to put themselves up 2-0.
Lasagna Slayer just playing out of their mind, like just so much comfort in these sequences. And the best part is too is like a lot of times you get those hits where like, yeah, maybe you could have done more, but getting guaranteed like good like pressure sequences in lieu, like we can't pick up further off of it, is always so much worth it, right? Get the hits you know you can convert off, keep the pressure running, and you could find yourself too and potentially into that top 24 qualifier here. But Kaneda, we've seen them before, definitely a strong Sin. I'm sure they have the ability to pull into that tool belt, and a lot of times I feel like I've heard that Sin does pilot very well into Goldlewis, but these characters have been through a slew of changes, essentially, you know, kind of their highest power points. But let's see one there, but there is that BRC into the overhead behemoth here again, and we did so many overheads into the occasional low, brought back the overhead, and that is gonna bring us on to set point.
You know, one extremely scary thing about a character like Goldlewis is that you can only block for so long. Because if you're not doing the perfect counterplay, if you're not getting those FDs out to let you backdash those later active frames, it can be really hard to kind of get out. It can be really hard to not take that damage, and as that chip damage piles on, it's so scary. But look at this. Kaneda has a burst in the corner, gets a big counter hit, has the meter, sends through the wall with that perfect hit too, getting some big damage, and now it's up to Lasagna Slayer to get out of this pressure. Tables have turned, gets a big overhead, has the combo conversion, gets another big hit, and now we're, instead of using that stamina, we're using that burst, we're using those resources, gets a big backdash. The JD gonna allow you to catch the BRC slowdown, kind of messes up the combo though, trying to continue the pressure, gets that big behemoth to break the wall, but doesn't use the meter, and no security gauge. The BRC has to get the gap closed, and now we're just back to neutral once again. Kaneda trying to apply this pressure, but we're churning butter on the stick. Overhead, but not enough to kill. Big man Millia coming out, trying to get these pokes, trying to get things started, and Kaneda can breathe a sigh of relief. He survived in such a scary situation.
Yeah, Lasagna was kind of starting to really call out a lot of those block string press points then with those IBs, a couple IBFDs as well to really mess with Kaneda's pressure, and already being rewarded again with the burst going into this round here. Yeah, good luck trying to jump away from Goldlewis. They are so good at calling out, but the fuzzy gonna get it started, put through the wall, not dead yet, but Positive's gonna start rolling in. JD immediately caught up by the 6P here, sends that B-Driver into the Guard Crush follow-up, a throw tech to keep it going, but PRC to keep running. Deflect Shield getting the Goldlewis off him. You have to hold FD here, or that chip's gonna be coming through. No meter for Kaneda, and they just didn't have the answer. Lasagna Slayer gonna take that 3-0 over Kaneda, local, or if you're, elsewhere in the world. So get into it, guys. Here we go. Round start, and the Nago Classic just teleporting back a little bit to build up some of that blood and respond to the sequence. But both bursts being spent by both characters, Ukyo, in the first 9 seconds. We love to see it.
Oh yeah, we love that high-octane game plan, but now look at TestYourLuck kind of poking from that range, not letting Happyrio get a chance, gets a big counter hit on that 2S, gets up. Oh, you are so done for with the changes that have recently happened. Counter hit, high blood, making things do so much more damage. Going in for that Fukio, trying to get some of that Samurai mix, even though they did take away Beyblade being a low. So now you got to use it for its other purposes. But look at how we're interacting as Happyrio. Goes for the hoof stomp to try and get an overhead to get that pressure started. Big 6P gets the tumble, but doesn't get the pick up with the 2K. Now trying their best, trying to reset the opportunity. Gets a big tap dust, has the far slash conversion, gonna regain some blood, but no, the Samurai DP mix didn't end up hitting, and now look at this conversion from Happyrio. Doesn't get the meter to break the wall though.
Yeah, and attempting to fight back and push them in, try to actually not break the wall and just take the neutral situation after. But I think as long as we route this here, we actually didn't even end up finishing it. Oh my god, we can't finish our food, and the vampire strikes. And despite that round essentially looking like it was going to be Happyrio's, if we could have just hit confirmed into the right sequence here, ends up going TestYourLuck after here. Like, I'm wondering if they were that they weren't going to die from that wall stick, but it's like it ends up being one of those things. It's almost like when you beta burst and then you lose for it, right? Where it's like,
yeah,
you should have just gotten burst first place. Like, I think there you should have just either believed in the damage or taken the wall break. But these high octane matches, a lot of times you make those quick decisions and they end up being the wrong one. But a lot closer in that second round, at least for Happyrio. So let's see how they adjust here in game 2.
I mean, this is exactly why this game is a first to 3 tournament set kind of game. It's so fast, so incredibly volatile. You gotta have time to be able to adapt to your opponent. And now look at this, a big 2H calling out that aerial movement, gets the 5P into the 6H, taking that spacing, not wanting to get hit by DPs, wanting to give chance to react to that, ride the lightning, and now just absolutely harassing with those buttons. Gets the big low, gets the 6H, and the vampire bites first.
Good stuff to TestYourLuck there, just looking incredibly in control of most of the set. Just a lot of confidence and a great Shizu to fight out, baits out the burst as well, not able to fully punish, but did get the command grab after. Good chase on that up forward again. But the DP gonna answer out, then getting a little bit antsy here on defense, catching the backdash with that Gazelle, but then sending the full sequence, put them to the corner here. Great blood management so far, not able to combo that PRC into after, gonna send that wire so you get some space back, but the Samurai is inevitable. 2 slashes to put 2 games on the board for TestYourLuck so far. And Happyrio, despite, looking pretty good in that first game, the second game has looked pretty heavily TestYourLuck favored.
And I think it's mostly because of how TestYourLuck is using those big buttons, especially at that mid-screen range, just absolutely harassing and poking Happyrio, and there's not really a lot Happyrio can do can do about it. All of those buttons that are on Sin, while they're great for poking, have so much recovery and don't have the range that Nagoriyuki buttons have. So you're kind of stuck in this really bad place of, do I try and mash and get counter hit maybe and misjudge my spacing, or do I try to go in and try to close space? But look at Happyrio now, getting a big overhead. That's high blood. You're going to take so much more damage. Getting that Hawk Breaker, gonna be able to get past the wall, gonna be able to get that positive bonus. But look at this big hit from TestYourLuck, able to push to the corner, push to the wall, and now we're back at that spacing we want to be at. But now trying to use that Fukio to get in. 6H doing so much damage. Fukio's back, gets a big 2H, and it just seems like Happyrio cannot approach, cannot hit buttons. The White Wild Assault gets caught. The 5K far slash gets backdashed, and now we're just trying to go back and forth the neutral, but the close slash gonna be a big anti-air like the other vampire in this game, putting Test Your Luck on set point.
Yeah, Happyrio is just not able to find the right sequence to fight out, and a great 5K counter hit combo here from Test Your Luck, answering this DP with 6H, jump canceling the 5K to take your soul on the way out. He'll take your blood, he'll take your soul. That's a 3-0 for Test Your Luck.
Coming into the stands, we have calamarikurusu on that Zato character. You don't see that often. And mixyous making a return to top 24 on that Slayer. Like always, getting things started with the command grab, trying to get that Eddie meter back, trying to get something started. But what a big 2H from mixyous. Gets the 2P, gets the grab to go across, gets the meaty Master's Hammer. The bite doesn't exactly work out though, and now we're stuck in pressure once again. Gets hit by the tap, has the burst out, gets a big counter hit, pushes to the corner, but not enough to kill. You gotta be patient, you gotta wait for your time. Gets a big JS, gets the froggy go jump, boing boing, gets the 2K into the 6P, but things don't work out. We have the auto time 2H, hits him with it, gets the burst out. What a great job at actually managing Eddie so far. mixyous not letting Calamari get these for free and puts the first round on the board.
Yeah, I am seeing some very, very good 2H usage here from mixyous, just not letting this Eddie even get a chance to walk up. And it makes sense with such a large disjointed button, but a great JH counter hit to get us started, put the Calamari in the corner, but a wake up throw from Calamari that you better make it real, mixyous, because I am ready. Speaking of another throw sequence here, going to put mixyous through the wall, get that positive bonus. We're kind of back in neutral. Reverse Slayer can be a scary spot to be in, but we are ready with a 6P to answer the K-Mappa here, letting Eddie great block on that 5D overhead, resetting the Eddie meter as well with the sword, and able to sequence mixyous here in round 2 and fight back, taking it to a round 3.
Exactly, but getting in with that overhead, kind of trying to control that spacing, manipulate those minus frames to not be so minus, having that tricky pressure, getting some stagger started, calling out that jump, gets the 2S, tries to go for the 2H, goes for the P-Mappa RC up to try and get this high-low, and has so much risk on them right now. One hit and you're gonna explode. You can only block for so long. These hits are doing so much. You're on such little health. No Eddie, no gauge, no meter, no guilty gear, no controller, no air to breathe in. mixyous taking that first game.
It's gotta be so fun to play a character that when you get hit, you just go, I'll just do it again. I'll just do it again. Yeah, like the Mappa got absolutely stuffed, and mixyous immediately slammed K-Mappa again. And like I can't blame them. Like Eddie died. Like you know, we did what we needed to do. So really good stuff. Great pressure there. And I have to feel for Calamari in this sequence here. Zato, while definitely able to control so much of the setups when they get the opponent pushed to the corner, even mid-screen is an option, but mixyous here is just so potent on the Slayer. All they need is one hit to get the game started, but there is a successful burst being taken away by Calamari so far. Both our players kind of back to that neutral here. K-Mappa gonna get ourselves just hit by a simple 5P RC, but push to the corner again, despite Eddie getting shot with that 2H, a 2K to get the knockdown, just slowly trying to box mixyous in. Build back that Eddie meter, but we thought the guy could help us. Ends up getting slammed by 2H again, and a loop is coming in. I don't know if we're even gonna see the burst used. We're not. mixyous gonna take that first round.
Oh yeah, 100%. These hits are so incredibly lethal on Slayer, and whenever you're a character like Zato with that low guts, with that low overall health, it can be so hard to get out of these sequences without taking a good bit of damage. But Calamari able to get the most of it, goes for that Amorphous, knows that Eddie's gonna be back soon after that wall break, especially with that hard knockdown, so decides to cash out with the damage. The Pierce is going to make things a little bit hard for you, controlling the air with that JP, getting that so many hits in the air, and now mixyous trying to find an opportunity, gets a big counter hit, close slash, has the dust, has the 2H, has the loop, gonna be able to get that 2S, 2H, gets the wall break with the super Mappa punch.
Oh my god, and 70% of your life bar just gone. Great PRC to cover that recovery from the Powell bunker. Game again. Sets up the Eddie though. This is Calamari's last chance to fight back here, and Mix is not going to be willing to spend that burst. I can respect saving that going into round 3 here. Definitely very important to have access to these tools for both these characters when it comes to being able to either burst out or deflect shield out of sequences. And a Drunken Shade being able to catch out as a frame trap here. Great 5P press to stop that K Dandy as well, but a 5H to get it started here for Mixyous. This damage is going, and you know Mixyous is going to be hitting those loops. But careful when you're pressing. It's simply, I don't know if it's like your hurt box is getting extended during these sequences, but man, the 2H is just so effective in this matchup. I am struggling to see how Zato could really get their game plan going.
It can be so incredibly hard to get out of these situations, especially with the way that Mixyous is using these big buttons. While they do have a lot of recovery from the changes that happened in this most recent patch, it does still make them very threatening, especially at range, where Zato kind of wants to sit behind Eddie, try and get those pierces out, try and get those frogs out to get jumping, get spacing, controlling that. But Calamari, she's doing a great job. She really is trying to contest the space, but Mixyous just understands it a little bit better, it seems.
There we have it again, 2H, which seems to be the MVP for Slayer in this matchup. It's just the value this character is seemingly getting from that normal, which of course comes out in almost all of his matchups, but Eddie is just not getting to exist. But great push on the Eddie, actually works around that Slayer 2E, but frame traps into the sword and putting Mixyous through the wall here. Positive bonus. Definitely looking like a strong start, but a great 2P again, able to punch out that Eddie. It'll be up to Calamari to be very careful about the sequence right now, but a great 6P on that 5K. Anti-air fuzzes with the 5P as well, but all it takes is one hit for Slayer to get started. An empty low here by Calamari, keeps that pressure going. Eddie sets up the overhead coming in. Good trap with that 2P, gonna send it out with the 6H as well. And round 1 of this game 3 here for Calamari is being answered back.
Oh yeah, 100%. And now has to use the car to try and get out of there. But one thing that I like to see here is how well Calamari is controlling that space. But Mixyous able to use these buttons, not afraid to jump, gets a big conversion after catching the backdash with the 2S. Now gonna be able to get the reset, goes for the matey on that, and wow, one hit turned into a reset where you died, and Mixyous is putting Calamari on set point.
Mixyous just, you know, essentially giving everyone a masterclass of what Slayer can do against Zato, and just essentially turning off this Eddie pressure so often. But great command grab here by Calamari to get us all started. 5Ds come for us all, and Eddie makes that free, but a good 5P to chase that backdash into the RC. Oh, but does not complete the full sequence. Another drop here for Mixyous, but doesn't work too poorly for Slayer. Able to chase so well with those Kara Mappa punches. But the 6H going to be backdashed as well again, but an air block on the Mappa makes it plus. Good 5K to punch out, sends it out immediately to the Gaddy, and RC to even beat the Eddie just in case. Actually baits out the burst as well. Calamari was so ready for that, and a burst to actually get utilized here. That was so close from both sides for that being baited out, but a Hand of Doom is gonna do it. Mixy is saying, you better make it real, or I'm just gonna backdash punch you for your efforts. 3-0 over calamarikurusu. On that patented Asuka here, and I believe Khan here on the Slayer.
You know, somebody that we've definitely seen from time to time, or at least I've seen in time to time, try to study and get better. Khan, definitely one of those better Slayer players. But Christian Crab, we've already seen once. We know that they have a very strong understanding and fundamental of neutral and how to apply this pressure. But Khan trying their best to get in, but what a screamer for the high-low mix-up, making things hard to guess with. Great poke, getting the not getting the perfect, but getting a good hit, letting things go into their favor. Christian Crab putting the first round on the board.
Yeah, great stuff here. Just picking these incredibly strong spots to stand and just letting those spells rip, but also just like great 5Ks as well in neutral to kind of be your active button here. But you know, Khan, all they need is that one hit to get started, and that first hit was immediately answered there with that burst. But a BRC slowdown can allow us to build up a little bit of extra mana as well in the sequence. And we tried to send the cubes, but the Mappa Hunt was inevitable. I know that I'm sure there's sequences for Slayer in this matchup that do feel a little annoying to deal with, but the activeness of these special moves definitely can help you get through some of those cubes.
How unfortunate. So close to killing. Gonna be able to catch with the 2D. Gets the overhead. This is gonna be a full combo. Has the spells in hand to make things better. Gets the bait on the YRC, but the throw doesn't kill. Doesn't get the OTG, but the Screamer ends up covering us. Christian Crab could breathe a sigh of relief. That was such an unfortunate routing from Khan. Not able to get that kill there off of the counter hit 2H. Maybe wanted to bait some resource usage, but it just didn't end up working out. Hi, mixyous. But going in here, trying to get the things started. Khan doing some great things, but we have time to adapt. We have time to be able to start it going back. And yeah, Slayer. Mappa Hunt. Yeah.
I'm trying to do the mixyous install real quick to put some games on the board, so I can respect the desire to look at the go. But going through here, we have game 2, y'all. Right now, Christian Crab showing why they have been so good, why they deserve to be in this top 8 qualifier right now, putting Khan through the wall again. And you're just seeing Christian Crab stand in these really good spots just to not have to essentially think about interacting with Slayer 2H, with Slayer options. And it just seems like Khan cannot get themselves started.
All right, trying to get things going in here. Khan losing around there, but definitely not out of it yet. These spells are just so incredibly oppressive. Christian Crab doing such a great job of keeping those resources up and not letting Khan interact at the same time. Goes from downtown, doesn't go. Oh, what a throw set! I would have gotten thrown. And able to get the Screamer going out, using that, refreshing the spells, trying to get exactly what we want. But what a 2P coming out here from Khan, stopping that in its tracks. But Christian Crab is finding a way to get back in it. So scary, gets a big counter hit. The pile bunker lets us get out of the corner from the forward momentum, and now we don't have any mana. We're on our last legs. We're one hit from scary time, especially because you're fighting against Slayer, but finding a way to get Khan back into the corner. Such little life. Has the cube doing a jig above us, going and getting and continuing such scary pressure, but gets a big YRC bait, and Christian Crab able to close out the second game here, going up 2-0.
Yeah, Christian Crab is doing an incredibly good job piloting this Asuka, running these pressure sequences and just kind of letting your game plan do the work for you, right? So you kind of see it earlier in a way when it comes with like Zato as well. You know, letting Eddie do the sequence for us, baiting out the YRC. Christian Crab using those cubes to be their YRC pop option then. So very great stuff, but we have all been on the receiving end of a Slayer pile bunker loop. So if Khan can just find a sequence here to get themselves started, definitely has the ability to answer back, may take us on to some further games. Great 5K to at least show a bit some life again, but Christian looked strong enough to be willing to spend that meter on a PRC cancel going forward again with 5H, but got a little too close to the sun and is going to get caught by a 2H starter FRC. Kind of a cool route there as well, take it over, but a backdash BRC to go over that 2H. Charge Dust Asuka combos. Don't see those very often here. We're going to go ahead. The knockdown get started, has to drain that health to get that mana back, but not letting your opponent essentially feels like winning. But a great YRC answering back. Did we send a still right away? We got caught, I believe, on the backdash, and the super is gonna take Christian Crab to set points.
Super unfortunate dash there. Not being able to block while doing that Slayer dash really makes the approach options a lot scarier. But Screamer getting us a wall bounce. Khan put into another combo, not really getting a chance to interact or do much of what they want here. Hard knockdown, positive bonus. We got the wind in our sails, and we're going even farther beyond. Almost went plus ultra, but had to be able to get that burst there. Goes and reacts to the tap dust, but Khan maybe at death's door here. Gets all the mana back, has the super, and Christian Crab gonna take this set 3-0.
I'm thinking that, or maybe like a cartoon villain or something here. But two villain characters on the screen right now. We have Mixyous, the Slayer, the Pile Bunker legend themselves, and Lasagna Slayer on that Goldlewis. Be careful for those behemoths, but great stuff here. Mixyous already routing. I love seeing that Dandy cancel into super. I just think that looks so sick. But there's that Kara Dandy crossing through. Pile Bunker catching out as well, and you know Mixyous is gonna finish this out, and a perfect to open up top 8.
Oh yeah, getting this round started off right, exactly what you want to see if you're on Mixyous' side. But big man Millia approaching with that JH, getting some spacing going, getting those dash cancels, not letting Mixyous truly get them out, getting that Lasagna there, using that PRC to get back in. But what a 5K for Mixyous, not letting that slip through the cracks, not letting you get that fake pressure. Gets a big 2H, but doesn't want to commit yet. Goes for the pressure, has the big hit, crow slash far slash, gets a 5K 2D, goes for the safe jump, gets another far slash, gets a big slow behemoth coming out here, but we got the damage to make up for it. Lasagna Slayer able to get a round on the board to tie up this first game of top 8.
You know, for how often these Goldlewis players called the Air Behemoth a taunt, they sure like taunted a lot, that I cannot lie. So definitely good stuff to Lasagna here, answering back the first round, but a back hit 6H actually gonna clip the jump over there. Oh, what a great 2P on that wake up to call out Lasagna for not making it meaty enough. But finish your food with this Pile Bunker loop, and the first game will be yours. Mixyous up 1-0.
Man, that was crazy. That was an insane 6H to press, and you know, Lasagna Slayer was right to burst there, because that does lead to a full count, to a full Pile Bunker loop conversion. It's definitely scary. Mixyous putting one game on a board, showing that damage and aggression that Slayer can be known for at times versus characters without that great a defense. But Lasagna Slayer does also have that, has that damage, has that pressure, uses those dash cancels to get in, and now we're kind of just seeing it back and forth. The neutral gets a big 6H counter hit and doesn't want that. Counter hits can be so lethal on a character like Slayer.
6H paying dividends, paying off the house, taking care of the taxes as well at this point. But no 6H this time. The 6P is ready from Lasagna to answer back. But a backdash into the hand of Doom here is getting us started with all of this damage. That did 50% and set up an option to be reversal safe. Security cancels, both overheads blocked. Lasagna had to sped it down, but gets their jump grip caught with a 2P. It's not going to be enough to kill, though. Pushes Lasagna through the wall. This is a hard knockdown. What will the mix be? Jumps over, catches that overhead. Close up, keep going. Great IB to stop the far slash and throws it, answering the round back here in game 2.
Oh man, getting it with that 2H here, but they did change the reward off of that counter hit 2H at the beginning of this season. You can no longer get a full loop at any range, and the Kara bite doesn't end up working here. Great 6Ps coming out for Lasagna Slayer. Gets the cross up, gets the backbreaker, so much damage. Mixyous feels the need to burst, but it doesn't end up working out. The 6P on the Mappa Hunch. You're in dire straits. You have 50 meter. The trade ends up going Lasagna Slayer's way, showing how much damage can be pumped out on this character and giving Mixyous a taste of their own medicine.
I have to say, I feel like I want to call the Goldlewis, you know, like essentially the Air Behemoth where he side switches. I want to call that the Yo Johnsonville brats, you know, because I have to imagine that you know, that Goldlewis is definitely a enjoyer of a fine brat. So the Yo Johnsonville brats going crazy, giving Lasagna Slayer a game back here. We have one apiece, y'all. Remember, this is top 8 of the Jeekly. definitely one of the best tournaments you can find in the week. And there's so many good players here coming out, just like Lasagna here showing you that Mass's hammer better be real, and throws a lot of it, baits the burst as well. The sequence keeps going. I love this route to keep the meaty pressure sequence. No guarantee it was gonna kill. Was not able to pick up there, but a simple PRC forward into that 5D RC. A couple 5Ps to seal it out, and round one going to Lasagna's player.
To make sure that things are going great for us, getting that pressure started. These overhead low mix-up situations with these behemoths are so hard to deal with, but what a great read on the grab. Tries to get something started. The backdash is going to end up working out for us, and Lasagna Slayer is doing such a great job in representing these 6Ps in these situations where mixyous is trying to approach, trying to get something started, has the burst out there, and the back JD, great air-to-air, great pressure starter. Lasagna Slayer takes a quick game onto the board, going up 2-1.
And such a good sequence here. Mixyous end up holding up, tries to fall with the JH, but the Goldlewis 2P, the Thanos button itself, somehow finds a way and answers out that aerial option on the way down. And Lasagna Slayer now on set point, but they do have to take 2 rounds in this game against this Slayer to do it. So Mixyous just needs to find that one hit, get the blender sequence going. But I think what you're seeing here is a lot of aspects of Slayer that do tend to cause him to fall out when people know, and it feels even worse if your burst is being baited. 100-meter, sure, keep it sure, and I say the max damage super here. Glass is broken, setting up that drone. But then beats out the 2H for it, and Mixyous tries to clip Lasagna on the way in, but Lasagna is on set point.
Lasagna Slayer is doing such a great job on defense and in neutral, but Mixyous is not out of it yet. They did get one game at the start of the set, but what a big counter hit. That's so scary if you're Mixyous. Lasagna Slayer putting on the hurt, getting the pressure going, using all that, the security gauge to make things happen. These behemoths are reaching so far. 6Ps getting represented. Goes to try to get the burst out, but it doesn't end up working. We have to use that FD. We can't let anything happen. We're plus from that range though. Let us getting our pressure started. Going for the far slashes, gets the Mappa Hunch, gets the 2S, and now we're probably didn't want the forward dash, might have wanted super Mappa Hunch, but it doesn't end up working out.
Other winners side set, we have RedIAmNot on that Goldlewis. Christian Crab, you've seen him a couple times tonight so far on this Asuka, absolutely cooking, and I'm super excited to see how a character like Goldlewis is going to be able to fight through the annoyance that Asuka puts on the screen.
Oh, 100%, especially with these ability to get all of these. Oh, wow, going for the super here. What a great call out by Christian Crab. Able to get the pressure started. What a great combo, but doesn't finish the conversion. Able to reset, able to get our spells back, use the mana to keep our example, but Turn and Butter gets the big hit. Level 2, called it out, and now we're getting the big throws, reacting to that dash cancel though by getting a big throw. Maybe wanted some type of dash cancel special there, going in for more pressure. Cubes upon cubes, has the Skyfish going, continuing forward, has the White Wild Assault, but it doesn't end up getting punished. Big JH gonna come out here and get things going for us. Wow, we're able to get things started. Big cubes, trying to get things going. Little cubes, green cubes. Sam I am, I don't like green eggs and ham. Going and getting the speed staff out. Things are looking really great for us right now. Have that strong wind condition, have meter, have the wind inside of ourselves going forward.
Oh my gosh, and that instant JD trying to catch a bit of a fuzzy there, but a 5D RC to get that knockdown that we're looking for. Sets up into the mana 6K to frame trap into the low. And despite that first round going Red's way, Christian Crab answering back well, but should not be too surprised. This is why Christian is at this point. But an aerial behemoth there to get ourselves started, just to get knocked up into the drone again. The pressure sequence never seems to end, but a great aerial screamer to fight back. Baits out that White Wild Assault. I'm sure it's definitely a matchup that changed a lot with the aspects of Wild Assault being nerfed from what it once was. But watch your toes, and no mana bar behind it to keep you alive. Christian Crab, despite controlling a lot of that set, a couple wrong hits, and it is over. Great stuff to Red here, answering and taking that first game.
Oh my God. Crab lost mana. Don't you guys love Guilty Gear? This game is great. Guessed wrong with a low, and RedIAmNot made the most of it. You know, it's one thing to be able to get a hit. It's another one to be able to do the most optimal thing in any given situation. It takes a long time to be able to learn things like that, but going forward in here to this next round, big 5P, trying to get things started, get that big anti-air, goes for the tick throw. Things are looking great for Christian Crab, gets the guard crush, has the screamer, goes for more resources, try and refills that meter, and now things are looking really good for us if we're Christian Crab, even though we're getting hit here. Has the meter on our side, the burn it down, gonna be at our back. Big conversion, goes for the super, gets hit anyways, but still breaks the wall. What smart routing by Christian Crab there.
That might have been the sickest thing I've ever seen an Asuka do. I can't lie. That was incredibly smart, knowing that they had the carry with the hit, sending into the super to not have to interact with that burn it down. So great stuff from Christian here, just showing comfortability in what they need to do to work around these strong tools in the arsenal, but trying to backdash a behemoth, you have to be right, because getting clipped is not one you've been experiencing. The overhead's coming in, gonna go through the wall here, mana shield breaking, but it was still active for that first hit, so a little bit of damage reduction still gonna come through here. Great IBFT to get some space back, 2D to get ourselves started. Screamers keep the pressure going, but there's not a lot of health to work with. Has to use the tension regen, also using the standard basic mana regen as well. Christian being so aware of how low their health is, and knowing that a single hit from Red on defense could be the end.
I mean, and look at the way that Christian Crab is playing neutral. Even whenever they don't have spells, goes for the burn it down, but I don't think it's able to work. Able to kind of start things going back in, has a staff on the field, gets the Roman cancel, has to respawn some of that meter. Bouncy cubes want boing boing, goes in for a big conversion here, has to use the Wild Assault. Mana looking low on our side, but gets a big tap dust, and look at the awareness of mana and resources on Christian Crab's side to get that round and get that game into the books for Christian Crab.
Nothing worse than getting aerial guard crushed, or having to air block something and then landing, and you land down back instead of land standing, and then you're gonna get clipped by that 5D. So, boing boing indeed. Our players here getting a great answer back. No 3-0s for this side then. Christian making Red absolutely work for it. But we saw it in that first game. All Red needs is a few hits, get that mana shield broken, and this character is essentially made of, less than paper. A great IAD being stuffed by that behemoth, but a good BRC to make that overhead come out instant. Combos into itself as well. Gets the mana regen back going to great delay on that 2S for the frame trap, but keeps that space, allows the spell with the overhead to clip on the way through, but there's 100 meter to work with against Red. Full burst as well, gonna spend it a little bit on the burn it down, tries to run up to challenge, but the 2K checks Christian in there and gives Red that first round.
RedIAmNot just doing a great job at being aware on when they can press and when they can't, but look at this fuzzy conversion. Christian Crab showing that Asuka does have this high-low outside of spells, but also doing a great job at stalling, not getting hit by Skyfishes, not letting this situation persist. But it's like you've been saying, Gideon, not even just the paper skin, more like glass skin and paper bones going in here now. But Christian Crab finding a way to be alive, finding a way to make sure they have this pressure, goes for the card reset, has to get some of those back in, has to refresh those spells. Oh, what a big counter hit! Wake up, Behemoth Typhoon gets a counter hit. You're gonna end up dying from this. Look at RedIAmNot with such a big conversion and a ballsy mash out of pressure there. Wow, what great defense.
Yeah, and this is essentially, as someone who has like spent more time recently looking into Asuka, understanding that some of this character like does need cubes to set up like essentially like the better cubes. So it's like not having something to make them block a little bit to give time for that proc to come out. Like that's the only offensive spell they had in their arsenal. Tried to send it and Red answered out perfectly with that behemoth counter hitting and sealing out that game 3. But despite how, you know, one-sided essentially that game 1 was, and Christian here able to at least answer back in that second one, hopefully we can get a illustrious game 5. It'd be our first game 5 of the night. It's been all 3-0s and 3-1s so far, so let's see if this wizard has a few more tricks in that hat of his, or if we're just going to be pulling out a rabbit and that's the end of the show. But here we are, y'all. Game 4. Get ready. Cheer out the player that you want to win in chat here. Let us know in the comments if you think these characters are fair and balanced. But we'll be seeing how fair and balanced this pressure sequence is. This Asuka is just swinging those hands back and forth right in front of you. Jazz hands coming through. Super going through the wall. Built up so much meter with all those special moves.
I mean, and doing such a great job, but getting the safe jump. Christian Krab really trying their best to make us go to game 5. Gets the big overhead, has the meter, gets some of those cards back, able to get the wall break, but big man Goldlewis has a little bit of meat on his bones and health bar. Christian Krab, though, able to take this first round while both sides keeping burst. RedIAmNot definitely doesn't want to go down to that loser side trying to get this, but what a great conversion from Christian Krab. You got to be able to keep this pressure up. You got to be able to stay at a range where Goldlewis can't poke back. Gets a big counter hit with that blue Wild Assault, gets a throw, and now you have him exactly where you want him. Christian Krab, the hard knockdown, is going to be able to come out, go through the wall break, and you're on such a bad spot here. But we have seen RedIAmNot be able to reverse situations in a single hit, and this 2P may be the start of something great.
Absolutely. And speaking of things not so great, trying to deflect shield the next follow-up, but ends up getting hit for it anyway. And despite this feeling like a Christian Krab game 4, Red finds a way off of an unfortunate deflect shield from Christian, but not out of it quite yet then. As long as we can see what's going, there's that media burst to not let Christian keep that sequence going, but the drone able to fight back, not able to 2P that yellow cube, ends up catching up there. Great stand block on the overhead. That overhead spell was being so much value in the earlier sequences here for Christian, but gets the setup again, teleports through the behemoth as well. Gonna get set up another spell into, not trying to break quite yet. All they need is one more good hit on Red. And I think if we can just bait out, no, it actually does catch Christian on the way through. Baits out the YRC as well. Burst immediately sending Red back to that corner, but there's no mana to work with. When will we get a chance to cast a spell? Will it even be in this set? And it's not, and it's gonna be RedIAmNot taking it 3-1 over Christian Krab. But coming up here next, we are moving on with our top 8 of the Jeekly. We are in the losers quarter side. We have calamarikurusu, the Zato extraordinaire, versus classified, the blue Geo. Definitely one of the best Geos in NA, if maybe not the best. Like there are, I'm sure there's competition for more folks as well, but a few folks are doing it as well as classified, and both these bursts coming out here quickly on both sides, trying to make sure they can keep that sequence going. But Calamari so far winning the neutral interactions, had the meter built up to get that sword super knockdown. Gonna get that Eddie set up again, but actually able to space out the YRC perfectly, and the drill punishes clashing, which ends up not killing Eddie and keeps the sequence going. What a strong awareness of the system mechanics by Calamari, getting herself that first round.
Oh, 100%. You know, Classified trying to interact, but things not going our way. The throw ends up whiffing. You try to deflect shield out, but what a great jump. Just weathering the storm, trying to not let Calamari get her game plan started. Classified, though, playing a great spacing game. Lock in with punish that far slash, gets a big DP going and sticking to the wall, but doesn't use the meter. Maybe thinking that the 5K would have killed, but it doesn't end up going that way. 2K ends up trading with the 2S, and now we're going into this next round here, tied up. Calamari has been doing a great job at interacting.
Absolutely. Classified just needs to find one good starter to get it going. And a counter hit 2D is a great place. Tries to keep it burst safe as well with those delayed JPs in the air with some FD cancel behind it. But good knockdown sequence, but it's a 100-meter Geo. You have to be ready. At so many of her options start to add more of that chip. The speed goes up, the damage is there too, but a run up 6-2-3-S to get it going. And there's a few characters that could survive that starter, and it's definitely not going to be Zato. Classified getting that first game.
You know, Classified been doing it for so long and so strong at so many aspects of this game, especially that neutral and whiff punishing game, baiting out options, willing to be patient. And that's one thing you don't really see a lot inside of Guilty Gear, with this being such a high octane, high pressure, high damage game, is that players are not really willing to kind of sit back, wait, and let their opponent mess up or let their opponent make a mistake. Especially whenever you're in high pressure situations like top 8, it can be so hard to resist pressing that 5K or pressing that special. But Classified is a master in these kind of situations. Just walk in, punish that far slash, but things are going well for Calamari right now. Able to get a hit, gets bursted, gets the pierce right back out, gets a big hit though, able to get a big conversion, has the meter to refresh Eddie, and now we're just gonna make that game plan continue. Empty low, gets a big hit, gets the refresh, has the 5H, and things are just not going for Classified this round.
Yeah, great routing so far from Calamari. Just keeping that gauge so healthy for Eddie, but great jump out JK here for Classified. Gonna find a hit, but wasn't quite enough to be ready for that 5H cancel after the far slash there for Calamari. And, you know, once again, a round going her way, but you gotta get 2 rounds to get a game. So let's see how she can adjust. This will likely be putting Classified through that wall with the Amorphous there. Good job on that. Eddie management has full meter to work with here. Gonna get Eddie out here. Pierce and the drills coming through, but no bait on the burst for this sequence. Great timing by Classified, but a good 2K counter hit to get us started. Double dash to push all the way to the corner into the throw, and the Street Fighter at home is going crazy right now. A great backdash BRC sequence. Oh, doesn't press again on that trade sequence. BRC forward, JD air cancel as well, and you can just tell neither players here are trying to commit too heavy to walk into the wrong option, and Calamari being ready, having that advantage, answers back with the game herself.
Exactly. Calamari just doing a great job at adapting and kind of trying to understand how exactly Classified wants to interact for any kind of given situation. I think she's doing a great job at figuring it out, obviously getting that game there. And now this kind of back and forth ping pong game of layers and pressure and adapting to those layers now goes on to Classified going into this next round. Big 5H still going to come out. Gets a reset, able to reposition Eddie to go for a nasty little combo. But Classified sees the situation coming, gets the counter hit 5K with the dash momentum, gets a big super, gets the hard knockdown. You know, this is going to be such a great example of pressure from Classified here. Run up throw with the Brain Destroyer, the BRC Fuzzy, the Classified Classic. Going to get a round on the board.
Yeah, I was curious how they were decided. They honestly probably could have even killed with a throw RC there, but once again, going for an absolute Classified patented backdash BRC setup. So, but here we are, find ourselves having to play in the odd neutral that happens with Zato and Eddie on the screen, but a great fat dash cancel into the drill. Good block on the side switch too. Calamari was absolutely ready. A bit of YRC to get some space, then Pierce gonna push Classified back to the corner, but no pickup. Good jump out on the command grab, but ends up getting pushed back in the corner. Gets frame trapped into the 2D. Gonna go ahead and send the RC as well after the hit. And I don't think, no matter what route we do, there's a way to kill Zato here, but anything can do. But there is a full Eddie health bar to work with. We can just survive the sequence. Gets the summon in just barely here. Will Classified spend any of this meter or burst to fight back? At this point here, Mario teleport through the 5D into the Zato and Eddie pickup. Great stuff to Calamari, despite the low health bar, able to move forward.
Wow, exactly. And being able to make that pressure so hard to interact with Classified, had to guess, but was willing to keep these resources for the round ahead. Able to keep that burst, not wanting to use it, even though they could definitely see the win for this game in the mirror, or should I say ahead of them. But now Calamari able to get some things started. A big counter hit, has the burst up, but Classified trying their best to bait, has the 2K, still has the burst, but what a big back throw, able to get something going here. Classified puts another game on the board. This back and forth of trading the layers and trading the interaction. Can Calamari adapt? Can she be able to reach into her bag, pull out more of those defensive tips that Eddie allows for, and get things going?
Yeah, and that, unfortunately, that IB on that close slash essentially sealed it, because not any good Gatling options without, because of being essentially minus on the CS pressure. So really good awareness by Classified, having that defense IB ready. So Calamari already find herself boxed into this corner, but a great jump out. Gonna at least get the first burst going for her here. Backdash taking on, but sends in the 623S with that PRC cancel. Classified tried to bait out the burst a little too hard, and gonna get back thrown for his troubles. Gonna be going through the wall with the Amorphous here. Not gonna have a full Eddie bar to work with, but definitely plenty of meter to get him set out. At least keep that pressure sequence going. No recall, so immediately goes into sword. Keep it working. That health bar is draining down. The overheads are raining in. And Classified, despite being up in game counts, Calamari is fighting back and trying to get us to that game 5.
Trying her absolute best, and it's such a great effort. You know, against a character like Zato, you just can't block forever, no matter how hard you try. But especially whenever you're fighting against Classified, these hits are gonna matter. No matter how much you block, he will find a way to open you up. Post wall break, has the burst on our side, but what a catch on that backdash. Able to get things started, get things going, has 100 meter on our side. The more meter we have on Giovanna, the more damage we do, but it's not enough. Calamari has the meter on her side, but it doesn't end up mattering. The BRC high-low mix-up, it's so hard to be able to deal with. Going in here to game 5, Calamari on the back foot, Classified on set point, but Calamari able to interact in neutral so well, backing up, getting things started, burst at the perfect time, trading back and forth, 2K, 2D, able to cancel that recovery, and now we got the pressure once again, tries to go for a tick throw, but Calamari gets called out. Classified now on offense after blocking all this time. Such a big conversion. Now we're in the corner, building meter, building resources. Things look horrible for Calamari right now. Goes for a big conversion, 50 meter on the board, gets the wall break. Calamari gonna be sent home, but not without putting a great effort. Classified gonna go on into this top 8.
Good old classic funny Bagman and good old Faust versus Nanan on the Sin here, and a great 5H by Lurry to get that burst going right to start out.
You know, this is going to be a game of poking, a game of inches. Both these characters are so great in neutral with big buttons and able to control space, but even though that might look a little bit different on the side of Lurry and Faust with that 2S, with all these abilities to kind of get items out on the screen, but Nan trying to get something started, gets a big hoof stomp, tries to go in here, 1,000-ton weight, gonna stop our approach, and now tries to go for the throw, but it doesn't end up working. Gotta settle for the PRC, getting that 1,000-ton weight once again, but the YRC gets spaced out on the ground, goes for the thrust, goes for the overhead, and now we're just establishing this whiff punishing game. But what a throw from Nan, able to make the follow-up from the mini Faust. The extra pocket burst not really worked so well, but what a great conversion. Even without the stamina, positive bonus going to go a long way in this round.
Yeah, Yeah, but you have to be ready for. There is the first spend on the Faust option. Definitely the classic Scarecrow PRC. But the 5-ton catching our recovery here, but wasn't enough to keep our pressure going. The great back throw by Nan to take out Lurry in this first round, and getting fresh into this new round here. The items are coming in, and the 6Hs are absolutely hitting so far here from Lurry. Getting so much value out of this, what is called a reactable command normal, but the boys had it covered. No matter the sequence, the items are just coming out so strong. Even a whiffed PRC Scarecrow being saved because of the hammer, and the boys pulling up one more time to say what's up here. And just like that, despite it looking very Nan favored in that first round, Lurry here pulled out the bag of trips and answered back to take us to round 3.
Faust is so evil, constantly pulling out the right items for every situation, but it does help whenever your items are just so universally applicable. But Nan getting a great hit here, positive bonus on our side, but no tension, no burst, no stamina, having to be in such a bad position here. Meteors coming down, Mini Faust on the floor. Lurry getting some big hits, uses the big Scarecrow PRC conversion, able to get a big 2K, 5K, 6H conversion, goes for the hole-in-one, but it doesn't end up killing. Nan such in a bad spot, tries to go for a backdash, and now we're just playing neutral 1 again. We know that we're in a great spot here, but the 2K Lurry able to snipe out Nan's foot or like knee or like breath and able to get that game there.
Yeah, really, really good stuff to Lurry. Just so comfortable here, and not kind of sending the Scarecrow that puts you behind, right? Just kind of keeping the space as well. I wonder if they broken the wall with super, if it would have killed. Definitely was just a hair going through with that hole-in-one, but Nan here, definitely no slouch, able to make it to multiple top 8s in tons of brackets, so we'll be seen here. But Lurry, definitely one of the better Fausts here in NA to do it, so just gonna have to come off of a bit of luck from the tricks. And so far, going pretty well for him there. Great utilization of this Faust 2K, such a strong anti-air normal option. Definitely Lurry here showing they are so comfortable with picking these spots, but a great slide through under PRC to try to punish it. But essentially Faust is so quick to recover off of that bag toss here. Gonna put themselves through the wall, and positive bonus not working in Nan's favor, but jumps over the 6.
Oh, what a strong jump in over that 6H. They're able to get a throw, able to get things going, and now going into this next round here, Nan up with a little bit of momentum on her side, gonna be able to get a grid conversion here, cashing out on that stamina, cashing out on that positive bonus, and now able to make things hard for Lurry. But Lurry, such a great player when it comes to neutral. The tick throw setup going to come up from that 6K, going to be able to get a back throw, and Lurry has you exactly where he wants you, able to get these command normals out, able to get these items out to make things so incredibly scary. Goes for the throw, but able to get a conversion with the Mini Faust here. No matter how we're matching, we get a counter hit. What?
Yeah, quite a rough spot to find yourself in here, but gonna go ahead and get clipped in the explosion as well. Definitely such an odd character to navigate around. It's so hard to think about how you want to pilot neutral when there are all these items on the screen. And there's one thing to know when it comes to characters that have these odd neutral paths, there is no character that will be more ready for those sequences than the one who is dishing them out. So very akin of what you see from Faust or a bike and tether, but going here, Lurry just controlling Nan despite they're finding these options to get there, but the DP gets baited out, answered with that 5K immediate burst. Not trying to let Lurry run away with it, but a basic hit JH actually gets punched out of, was not plus enough with the 5P being answered. Lurry gonna send the banana peel, but a unfortunate BRC attempt. Oh, kind of a weird RC cancel then. Not curious when they end up hitting, but a run-up throw covered by the bomb is the answer. No way to kill quite yet, but any straight hit can do it. And delayed Scarecrow PRC throw. It gets tagged, but an IAD JH from Nan here gonna try to throw it through, but the homie is coming in. All these extra DPs, but a DP of her own to put Lurry through the wall. Positive bonus now working for Nan, but it's such a scary spot to be in. He tried to IED over. We said it earlier. They recover way too quickly. The 6P was ready, and despite even more scrappier game 2, still going the way of Lurry.
Nan doing such a great job at trying to manage those spacing and contend with whatever Lurry is doing at any given time, but Lurry just so strong on the defensive standpoint. One thing that we've been kind of seeing through these matches so far is how well they're using Crawl to kind of get underneath those hits, to kind of make those jump ins whiff, and it can be a really hard tool to be able to approach from any character, but Nan down 2 games, wanting a change of pace, gonna switch to that Giovanna. As Jeek said a little bit earlier, they play everybody, but mainly Sin. So let's see what their Giovanna can put forward. Gonna be able to play a little bit of neutral, a little bit of a shimmy wimmy, a little bit of a back and forth, trying to lock in, punish that far slash, going back and forth, gets a big 2K. And now Lurry, kind of on the back foot it seems, but gets a big hit there. Big counter hit, big 2D burst going back and forth. 100-ton weight gonna make it really hard for us to approach here, stuffing us, getting the big kick here, not able to interact or mash with it, and now Lurry's got you in the corner, able to use these buttons, these 2Ks, make you try to guess on the strike throw shimmy, tries to go and get a big punish hit, but it doesn't exactly work, and what a great conversion from Nan.
Finish the route, but able to get another fresh close slash starter of basic routing choice into the super for the hard knockdown, and delayed 2S to get it started. And despite the switch coming in here in the last hour right now, this Giovanna able to put a roundup on the board, but Lurry only needs to get one more game here. This is time to download, time to adjust to the speed difference of what we need to be ready to when it comes for Giovanna, but the hair gonna blow up as well. Another whiffed command grab, but the PRC to recover as Nan tries to fight back, and the explosion has it covered. So much damage coming out. JH as well to get a bit started, but a good combo routing, and actually goes for the reset into the overhead as well here. Nan making essentially one of Gio's less functional moves, big function in the moment. Back to that neutral again, you run to the wrong button, burst to send it, no health to really work with, but the air super gonna catch, actually ends up getting a back hit, so push him away from the corner, sets him on top of his boys, off the trumpet, 5D RC to answer it, and Lurry is on set point.
What an unfortunate interaction there. Tried to burst, got hit by the banana, and things aren't going exactly our way after the switch. Nan playing so well on this new character, but Lurry just seeming to understand everything. Gets the mix loops, pushes to the corner. All the health already off the board, but the far slash gonna be able to get us exactly what we want. Starting this pressure with the 2Ds, trying to poke with our disjoint. Getting a big hit there. Gonna be able to get a great conversion. 50 meter on our side, but doesn't get the wall stick. The wall damage tracking not exactly as great as we wanted to see. 5K far slash, trying to space out, trying to make Lurry guess, but Lurry does a great J2D, able to get something great going. The dive kick gonna end up hitting, and now we're at such a one interaction kind of situation for both these characters. Burst coming out, Nan, you gotta approach, you gotta get a big hit here, you gotta get some pressure started. Red Wild Assault gonna be able to get us in. 5K Lurry gonna go with the 2K again. The deflect shield gonna come out from Nan. Both these players don't have that many defensive options. Goes for the fuzzy jump, not wanting to get hit with the throw, but what a great conversion. Big throw coming from Nan, allowing us to get some pressure started, but the throw doesn't work out. Lurry with such a big JD gonna take the set 3-0.
Gonna have classified on the Giovanna versus Christian Crab on that Asuka, and the first knockdown going the way of classified here. Definitely how you want to start your matchup against Asuka. If you can win the round start, prevent him from just throwing out these cubes, the game can absolutely be yours for the rest of the sequence. And this choice gonna put Asuka through the wall, able to break the mana shield on that last hit, Great knockdown there, gonna be able to cover some of that mana as well. Once again, Christian Crab recognizing that their health is a lot lower now and being willing to spend that tension to get that mana back.
It's so impressive to see that kind of wall health tracking from Classified, but Christian Crab here trying to use these spells, trying to apply that pressure. Things aren't exactly going that well for Classified post wall break now. Getting a chance to go for the fuzzy setup, can't really do much about that. Mix is kind of hard to deal with from Christian Crab, showing us an avenue of his character you don't normally see, and now able to win the round, start reverse the tides. Maybe tried to go for a burst bait, but got forward, and that's not exactly what you want. Trying to go for more conversions here, gets the blue wild assault. Screamer going in for more pressure. It's so hard to interact in times like this. You kind of just have to wait for your moment to jump out, get things started, but oh no! Not exactly what you want to happen. Able to find a way out, but not able to find a way to interact. Gets hit with the back shots. A doom into what crazy mix from Christian Crab to get things going. 50 meter on our side, all the meter in the world, gets the burst, but doesn't get the combo. Classified, able to hold on and stay in tune to the game without thinking they had lost. Now for the BRC setup, goes for the fuzzy. Does get hit, but doesn't get the conversion. Catches the backdash, gets the DP. Gonna be able to get the wall stick, but no! Chooses not to go for it, wants to get the reset, get the throw, but no OTG. YRC gets spit. Classified turns it around. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was absolutely disgusting. Just being so ready for any of the options, being absolutely meter aware. Classified showing you what you have to do to play Geo on this level. What a great dash. Almost gets over. What a great air throw from Christian Crab, answering back the movement here from Classified. And despite a couple good punch-out sequences, it's Classified going through the wall. Hard knockdown. Mana being built in, and a wake-up super to catch out Christian. They did not have the ability to cancel their choice into the RC, but a great 2P into the RC stops any of the sequences here to go. But this route is so scaled and chooses to not land into the air screamer, which is gonna net Christian Crab that game one.
All right. But yeah, wow, what a back and forth from both these players, doing such a great job trying to make sure the set stayed close. The set is staying really close. You know, Classified with those great comebacks, able to turn things around, get things going, and go into this next round. You can only expect them to be kind of on that high from how close this set has been. Both of them definitely think that they can win it. Both of them definitely think that they could be in a great position here, but look at this combo. Never seen JPs end up happening like that. Chaining it into the wall stick, maybe trying to bait out a burst or trying to get something else. A big counter hit here, gonna break the mana shield. 100 meter on our side. We know this combo is going to do a lot of damage. Goes in for the super with the hard knockdown, with the wall break. Only a little bit of health left, no mana and resources. Goes for the BRC. Never saw it coming.
There's that overhead. So comfortable with these knockdown sequences. Classified, being ready to bring some mix from a character that is so strike throw driven. But Christian Crab definitely has been knocked down a few rounds before, but has found the future sequences to get back in, and a great back throw, getting Classified back in that corner, putting you definitely where Asuka is going to want you to be. You have to be able to call these out eventually, or at least wait until a bad hand shows. But 5D RC is going to at least help Asuka put you through this wall, link into that positive bonus while we have that mana return going for it, and so many cubes to work with. The air screamer is an option to get going, but the wake up super is going to catch Christian Crab, get that hard knockdown. Then no, this is where it's 2P RC, not going to find its hit this time. 6P and special canceling off those cubes, but an air throw on the jump in attempt again. Christian Crab rips Classified out of the sky and brings it to a round apiece.
Wow, that was insanely close. Honestly, part of me thought we were going to see another reversal of situations from Classified, but Christian Crab able to close it out with that air throw. Gets a big jump in, big counter hit, breaking that mana shield, only gaining more resources, gets the super, gonna get the positive bonus, and that only means an avenue for more damage from Classified, but we still have 50 meter on our side, using it automatically. YRC coming out, kind of sacrificing a little bit of our health for a little bit more mana, but gets in over the cubes using the air super. Seen it once, seen it again, gets the wall break, gets the hard knockdown. The only difference is no mana or no tension on the side of Christian Crab. Goes for the grab, doesn't end up working there, gets the 2D poke, and now we gotta refresh. We gotta keep in mind that we don't have that much mana for keeping combos. Doing such a great job, gets the Roman cancel, but doesn't get the burst bait. So few cards left in the deck, might be able to get the kill here, but no, has to go for a reset into the Screamer. Christian Crab up 2-0 with such little health. Classified's doing such a great job at bringing back these situations, but but Christian Crab is so locked in right now. It's kind of insane to watch.
Yeah, and I was very surprised we didn't actually get a burst bait out of that jump attempt there, but Classified just trying to find a time to swing back, maybe thinking that Christian was going to wait a little bit longer, saying they didn't have access to as many spells to rip it, but it still is getting so close. We've had round 3 in both of our games so far. We know Classified definitely has it in them to be able to do it, but Christian here already pushing Classified to the corner, gonna put them through the wall already, 10 seconds in, and Asuka already has you down 70%, already has positive bonus working in his favor, and this is looking like such a Christian Crab sweeper, even a slump to keep it going. When does it get to end here? But a BRC drift down, great call out here, gets an incredibly good start, and even through the mana shield, that's doing half of Asuka's life.
Oh wow, doing so much damage here, trying to get the most out of our situations. Maybe tried to go for a burst bait, but couldn't get it. But what a backdash BRC, able to get things going. Christian Crab just so incredibly locked in on defense right now, making Classified have to work for these. And oh, what another shimmy. This pressure is running so great. Classified on the ropes right now. No burst on their side, using this FD to try and get spaced out. No resources and things just aren't going their way, but able to get a big counter hit. Christian Crab has to use that burst. Doesn't want Classified to get any kind of momentum on their side at all. Going forward, getting new spells in the spell book, stopping the dog dart, making things so much harder. Has the speed spell, but Classified not scared, has the BRC conversion route with the overhead, goes for the high, tries to get another conversion, goes for the reset, but things don't work out. We barely have enough mana on our side, and gets the shield broken to a nice conversion. Classified able to get back in it.
That was so scary. When I saw that 2-8 whiff, I could feel Classified's soul leaving his body in that moment. So good job maintaining the pressure here. You're not out of it yet, not until you see the 3 on your opponent's side, and a far slash counter hit is a great place to start. This is going to do so much damage. I love this desire to do the soft reset, but the mana shield comes back just at the end. Lovely gonna save it here. Wake up a bit of BRC and gonna get the back throw then. Immediate gold burst answered, not trying to play any of this game, but the cubes are coming through. The mana is regenning, but able to super through the Screamer. Not gonna kill though, even if it went through the wall here. Go ahead, chase that up back as well from Christian. Immediately spending off into that YRC, now trying to block and baits out the throw, but no better pickup than a simple JD in the air. Any hit could do it, and the 5K is gonna find it through, and Classified not going down without a fight. Gets game 3 here and gonna keep us moving forward. Gonna get a game 4 at the very least. Incredibly good stuff here, but it's like as soon as Christian had to spend a little bit extra life to get more mana to keep it going, a singular button could do it here. This set has gone insane, Yu-Gi-Oh!
You know, it's insane. That IB to let Classified be able to interact with the Christian Crab that was insane. But going on here, Classified going to use that burst. Doesn't want Christian Crab to have anything, but Christian Crab feeling the same way. Getting that sap step down, doesn't want to leave the screen right now, but gets hit by a tap dust, has the meter to convert, gets the close slash, able to break the wall with a nice little dog dart. No mana on our side, but oh no. We're getting a little bit antsy. We're trying to make the best out of this situation. The YRC coming out doesn't want to deal with the BRC Fuzzy, but Classified's not having it. Gets hit with the tap dust, and they're getting a little bit of momentum on their side. Christian Crab up 2-1 right now, but Classified trying to put a dent into that lead. Going for the dash blocking, has another speed sap in their original hand, but Classified already knows what they have to do. Has to get in, gets the 6B baited, gets the spacing. Screamer gonna come out, goes for the low, and the pressure's just getting reset. 5P into the close slash, gets the hit, has the mana, has the tension to break the wall with that super to get a hard knockdown.
Definitely where you want to be to a Christian Crab at this point. Seems that Classified likely gonna let this round move forward here, but unfortunately Christian able to pick up the bird. At this point, if you're Classified, being able to hopefully fight back, you might have an option here. Oh, attempts to do the Geo 623S anti-air, but as air Screamer gonna space it out, seal out that round, put Christian Crab on set point now. But Classified definitely is gonna be fighting back, not gonna let this Wizard get the best of them, hopefully to get a chance to get us to that game 5, but not what we want to be seeing. 10 seconds into this round 3 here, going through the wall with that hard knockdown. Great block on that 6H. The blue wall assault keeps the pressure going, blocks tap dust as well. But this is Asuka able to set up so many plus frames, keep their pressure going. You just have to pick the right time to press, the right time to fight back. Not trying to stand up, gonna get clipped by the cube as well on the way in. Up backs, beats out the Diddy. Instant JK on the overhead. The sequence coming into the 2K, gonna fight out. Pushes out of the corner as well. Pushing Christian back in at the moment. The wrong press for either side could potentially seal it here.
No.
Gonna send the super, but the dog drill is not making it in time, and Christian Crab answering back with their Book of Black Magics here. 3-1 over Classified.
Wow. Coming up to the stand next, we're gonna have two players that have definitely made it to this position before in top 8. Mixyous on that Slayer and Lurry on this Faust, trying to get us started here in losers quarter final, or our second game of losers quarter final. Going in here, getting back and forth, kind of making things happen, going for the pressure, trying to get those staggers going. And you know, coming from a matchup point of view, this matchup just isn't that great. Faust and Lurry have ways to deal with these Mappa hunches, but as long as you're playing Slayer, you'll always have the opportunity to get in and do some big damage.
Yeah, I have to imagine Crawl can play a lot of annoyance then with your options of getting in with Mappa Hunch, not even to mention how good 2K is going to be at stopping out some of Slayer's mix options off of the Dandy Step. So definitely we'll see how Mixyous is going to fight their way through and attempts to get in with a simple Mappa Hunch, fast RC into that far slash, but no full pickup, but a great 6P to at least push Lurry back to that corner. Side switches through, gonna get the loops going, and like you said, if Mixyous is on the screen, this player is so good at finding a couple pile bunker loops, just attack on the damage, and despite Lurry having a lot of control in that first round, it did go to Mixyous.
And now we're just getting some great hits here. Going in for the reset, gets the car cancel on that Dandy Step, and now Lurry able to get a big call out. Mix, taking to the corner, getting one of those items out, getting the Dandy Afro out. Now you gotta kind of block for a bit. You're in Faust's domain of play like a Jujutsu Kaisen villain, but Mixyous able to find a way out, gets a big loop here, gonna do so much damage, send to the corner, gets a big counter hit, and now goes for the super Mappa Hunch, gets blocked though, and Lurry gets that win condition, gets that knockdown with that Afro, gets a big 5K going in here, continuing the pressure, but what a throw on the Scarecrow PRC, reacting to that Scarecrow, reacting to that PRC, and putting a game on the board.
Great stuff from mixyous here, and just kind of probably showing the toughest part for Faust in this matchup is just that you're kind of constantly tickling this vampire for a lot of your hits and sequences, and all it takes is that one throw to totally change the plan. And in this case, it's at least seal that first game for mixyous. But yeah, so far it's just been a lot of Lurry kind of in control of a lot of the elements of neutral, throwing out those items, and then it's just up to mixyous to find that one hit to get the blender started. And haven't really seen too much fight out now, other than an up back working out very well for Lurry. Going into the second game, the 2P, the god starter for Faust. No reward except the functionality of working. Definitely going to get some space as well, but pushing mixyous kind of back to that middle to full screen. Set up a few items that just can. A 5H going to get the follow-up then too. Able to pull out 2 minions along the way. The boys are helping Mini Faust to lead the charge as well. But a simple IDJH mixyous to get started, but not able to pick up into that dandy pow bunker.
Getting a big 2K here, though. Gonna reset the position. Gets a big, dandy 6K, but no! Lurry able to catch with the thrust. Has the Roman cancel. Gonna get the wall bounce. Gonna be able to get those command normals going. mixyous still having burst on their side, but Lurry kind of doing a little jig, doing a little dance, getting a little bit of damage, getting a little bit of a game around on their side. mixyous, though, not letting them have it without any consequences. Getting that tap dance, getting that conversion. 1-2 bunker. 1-2 bunk. Oh, super Babble Hunch. Got juked out.
Yeah, definitely feeling good about that there. Just absolutely evaporating this house health bar. Good spot from a great 5K press as well. Not letting Faust just get to auto route into that mix. Needs a slightly better frame trap option if it's even there, but Lurry here just struggling to keep the momentum back in their direction, and a great overhead off of the S. Follow-up from Dandy gets us started, but 5K anti-air jumping in on this Faust can be so difficult to do. Just so blessed in coming out of there, but a quick end of that 2K on the hits to get the 5D, but a 6P answering back as well. Throw again, our players are pressing, and each one continues to be right over and over again, but we're chasing that backdash with the far slash here, sending immediately into the empowered player as well. Side switch as well, picks up into it here, and Lurry, despite it going mixyous' way pretty heavily in that second round, keeps the composure, finds the right hit off of that side switch, mix, and takes game 2.
I mean, in these kind of situations, you have to be willing to kind of throw caution to the wind. And I think Lurry's doing that a little bit. There are definitely spots where you can get guaranteed interactions against Slayer, but with a player like mixyous, he's so good at disguising them. And Lurry's doing a great job at fighting back and kind of, striking back, getting them out of your way, find your one way, get it, but we're going in here, getting some more things going, tries to go for the Hand of Doom to get things started, but we have the Afro, it is on fire, has to burst out, doesn't want to get hit there, has to go for the burst, but what a great throw by Lurry, not letting mixyous get those fake left-right setups, able to get a Roman cancel off the 5P, has the bomb, but not able to get anything back out of it to get another conversion. Lurry got him on the wall. Maybe gets a big conversion. Didn't use the meter. Gets a reset. Gets a big 6P. Has a 100-meter on our side. That could be so scary. A character like Slayer gets the bunker. Doesn't get the wall stick. Prevents as little burst as possible. mixyous pulling back that round.
Here, just once they get the sequence going, it feels like it never ends, but Lurry here showing you how you have to answer back on defense against a character like Slayer. Be ready with those quick lights to fight back, but a great 6P stops the Slayer JH. A wake up BRC to fix the recovery, throws off the sequence as well, but this man with this fresh dew is putting the hurt on the barber himself. Attempts, thinking it's going to be the falling follow-up here from the Faust, but whiffs the air throw. This sets Lurry back to that kind of full screen spot where they want to be in. 5D RC to get us started, burst saying, answering back saying, you don't have that in you here, but a crouch into the 2K is gonna stop it, and mixyous spends the burst just to lose the round, and we're going to that third round of game 3 here. This is gonna be damn close with you.
So extremely close between these two players. Both of them have it in them to continue, but what a great IAD over that thrust to get us into a great spot. The close slash does end up getting a hit, but mixyous didn't exactly expect it. Going back into the corner, what a great jump over that blue wild assault. Lurry, not with much on the side, but has a great combo to finish out this bar of tension with that positive bonus. 50 tension on the side of mixyous, gets a big Mappa hunch in to get in, gets a big overhead starter, 1 pile bunker, two pile bunker, being able to push into the corner, but no, the throw doesn't work out. We get burst, we have to use it immediately here. Tries to go for a fuzzy jump, doesn't want to get grabbed. Wild assault ends up clipping, not going to be able to get the combo to end up getting the kill. So close, but the IAD ends up working. We have the meter, we have the bunker, we have the 5H. Able to get that game. Such a close round. Oh, wow.
Man, Faust really does no damage. This character definitely in the struggle bus when it comes to the damage department here. Like, and I know fair say it was a 2K starter and scaled by the blue wall cell as well, so definitely wasn't gonna rack up the damage amounts. But mixyous there just found the right IAD JK to set themselves up again. Finds themselves currently at 2-1 over Lurry. One more game would allow them to move forward, but Lurry just has to pull the right trick out of that paper bag. And it's gonna start with a quick haircut as well. Simple IAD over into that JH, get the hair guard crush started as well. Puts another fresh fro on it. mixyous finds a way out of the corner at the least, not before they got stuck again. Decides to keep it same side as well, causing mixyous to get hit by the meters on the way in. But we said it before here, this Faust not know put up damage, but a great steer, gonna keep them safe from the sequence as well. Not able to combo fully into it, but there's so much on the screen. It's gonna take a miracle for mixyous to be able to fight back, and they can't quite do it in this first round here. And Lurry looking pretty hot so far with those item pulls.
Lurry doing a great job here, controlling space, making it to where mixyous can't really approach as well as they'd like to, but mixyous not out of it yet, showing what they can do. And Slayer only needing 1 hit, but wow, using these buttons along with these items to control the space, it's almost like a zoner with how great these patterns are with these items on the ground, not really allowing mixyous to make an approach. Having to be slow, the crouch underneath, the crawl, not letting us get what we want. 50 meter on our side, but in all, it's so hard to interact in this kind of situation. The 5K, we're going to our first game. 5, Gideon! Ooh.
Oh, in a sea of 3 1s and 3 0s, the 3-2, our first 3-2 is finally going to have its opportunity to bear its head. So, yeah, this situation looked so rough for mixyous there. What do you even do when you have that disadvantage and are forced to approach a character who can just low profile the approach anyway? So definitely a tough situation, but this is Slayer. All he really needs is that 1 hit to get the party started. But Lurry definitely gonna want to be the one whose party it's for. Both players find themselves kind of at that again, but Lurry, despite getting pushed away the corner, finds that super jump air dash to get out, and the meteors helping to keep that damage coming in as well. Tries to activate the mini Faust early with the 2H. We're gonna get clipped by the 5D RC to get us started. Tries to keep the route as burst safe as they can, but pushes mixyous through the wall. Positive bonus now working in your favor. A great counter hit drill to get some real knockdown as well then, but the PRC to keep ourselves safe. Great dash catch to keep it going. Here come the boys to help with the sequence. Multiple sticks into the wall, and Lurry finding themselves on set point.
Lurry doing such a great job here, absolutely showing what makes this matchup so hard. for Slayer and just Mixyous in total, but Mixyous having enough of it, gets a big hit, able to get a close slash starter, mixing, not letting Lurry get anything started, but it gets a back throw. This is exactly where you want to be, another IAD, but we have the mini burst out on the field, forcing Mixyous back into the corner. The crawl going underneath the Mappa Hunt. Things aren't working out exactly how we planned it. Mixyous back to the wall, but doesn't burst. Doesn't want to give Lurry the advantage inside of the current game with the metered resources. The 5K 6-8 bursts Lurry into the corner, goes for the FD, trying to get a fastball, but no! The J2K gets a big conversion. Mix, but the low doesn't end up killing. Both these players are so close. Meteors with the explosion, with the mini Faust, can't get a jump in. Things aren't looking great for Mixyous. Bomb's gonna end up happening. Another mini Faust. This 6P Lurry doing such a great job at controlling screen space, and Mixyous just not able to get that approach. Wow, what a set. Lasagna Slayer. And we got RedIAmNot. Both these players returning so often into these top 8, showing us exactly what these characters can do. Trying to control that neutral. Gets a big behemoth on the approach. RedIAmNot is not safe from this damage. Going in for more, but gets the burst right whenever they were about to get wall stuck. Tries to go again. What a PRC up from Lasagna Slayer to avoid the drone though.
Yeah, that was such a strong recognition of not even needing the hit to happen. It's just not being forced to block the drone. And a great block on that cross up JH as well. But the burn down is coming in. Red having to block out the drone while poor Lasagna was stuck blocking out the burn it down. But a YRC to fight themselves out of the corner. Get back to the Goldlewis neutral, but unfortunately the jump frames being caught by the behemoth is gonna give Red that first round. But a great bait on that 6P, clipping out that 2K. Drone pushing to the corner is ready. This round just started, and Red already found a way to put Lasagna in the corner, putting them through the wall with the super then, and this is looking pretty RedIAmNot favored. Blocks out that 6K, but a dash cancel and the throw is enough to do it, and a pretty quick game 1 of winners finals here going to Red.
But yeah, RedIAmNot just showing a mastery of not only their character, but also the matchup in itself. Understanding this mirror, and it's like, as you said before this set started, Gideon, that they're just so good at this mirror. We see them play it so often versus players like Lolo or players like Lasagna Slayer at such a high level, but it seems like they're always so consistent in coming out on top. And the more you look at these sets, the more it's apparent that they have experience either with a training partner, or they just have such a deep and fundamental understanding of the character that it makes counterplay kind of just come naturally. You don't really see that often, but it can definitely come more often than not.
Absolutely. And you know, Red here just, you know, the resiliency that this player has for a lot of these deep bracket runs is incredibly impressive. You know, playing this high level of Guilty Gear as the night goes on definitely starts to wane. And so when you find yourself in these winners finals or top 3 positions, you can definitely feel the difference as well. And once again, I appreciate as well the call out. That was indeed just the 5K from Goldlewis. That stomp is enough to low crush some of these secrets as well. But good throw by Lasagna, keeping it safe side this time on that JH mix up again. But a whiff 2K into Behemoth keeps the blender going here, and Lasagna getting a very quick first round here in the next game.
Exactly. Getting a great wild assault here, kind of adapting, understanding exactly what they have to do to get in closer here. We've seen them play so well so far. There's a reason why they're in winners finals, but same can be said for RedIAmNot. Getting this pressure, getting this damage, getting the wall stick, not using the meter. We didn't exactly have it, but having it now. We're tied in resources. The only difference is Lasagna Slayer has all the security in the world to be able to get these cancels. No air taunts here. Going for the big man. Millia, safe jump, blocks the super here, but we're not out of the woods yet. Gets a big backdash on that big behemoth typhoon. Big moves. Just big. Just big. That's about it. Big.
a bait on the burst as well here. Lasagna incredibly in control on the second game. Definitely impressive stuff. And, you know, I'm not surprised to see at the sequence. Like I said, Lasagna has just been running a tear on this Goldlewis at a lot more of these recent brackets. And, you know, it's like those damn if you don't kind of bursts, right? Like, there are so many options you can go for as a follow-up after baiting the burst for a little bit. You know, it's kind of a pretty delayed timing Red would have had to go for to that even work out. So one apiece here for our Goldlewises as we get into this game 3. Let's see how things start to shake up at the round start. Both players giving a little bit of space to each other again, but the Behemoth starter going to counter hit this Lasagna, keep them stuck in that corner, sets out the drone, a delayed falling JK, a little bit of mix, but no full combo into the drone pickup. Drone just goes away at the end, not able to keep the combo routing going here, but really impressive stuff. The backdash on the overhead delayed Behemoth. The coffin is swinging the aliens like, what the hell is going on out there? And man, oh man, Red just taking advantage here in that first round.
The way these coffins are swinging, you think the aliens had CTE at this point. Going in, kind of waiting, trying to see what Lasagna Slayer is going to do in return. Gets a big OTG, deflect shield going to be coming out. You're on so little health, having to use your resources. The only thing you have really left in your pocket is a security gauge, but what a big mash out. Has the burst to keep the pressure meter on our side. Gets a big YRC, able to use the drone to control the neutral, letting us approach. The burn it down, gonna come out, gets the throw, able to kind of avoid that burn it down. Such a great thing to be able to do here. Now we're poking back and forth. Big man neutral gets hit by a big boy coffin, and now Lasagna Slayer down another game. RedIAmNot on game point if they can just pull out one more.
Yeah, like I said, you know, Lasagna here, just when they're able to get the sequences going, get the knockdown started, it just feels like it doesn't, you know, ease up. But same can be said about Red at this point here. You're just kind of seeing these micro adjustments piloting so perfectly around. Even earlier, you saw Lasagna backdash the overhead Behemoth there, which ended up causing them to still get hit with that PRC to clean up that backdash catch. So going into our game 4, will we see an answer back? Will we get the super desired for the rare game 5 in tonight's Jeekly number 85 here? Let's get into it here. Red keeping that pressure sequence going. Good IB by Lasagna to stop that pressure, but a backdash to go through once again. Lasagna's showing you where some of these behemoths are real versus not, but unfortunately drops the combo, is not able to pick it up, but the JD neutral is coming out again, making me feel like we are back in the previous season here. But Goldlewis is inevitable. You have to be able to block it out, but the toes are clipped, the health bar is gone, and Lasagna is gonna get that first round.
I mean, exactly here. No matter how much counterplay you got, Lasagna Slayer is doing a great job, but RedIAmNot just showing what the bounce to counterplay can look like with these IVF keys. RedIAmNot using that burst while down in life, is not down in spirit. Winners finals for a reason. Getting a big hit, but ends up trading. Maybe tried to go for a poke there, expecting another one. Going in for a big overhead, big lows, trying to get ourselves a great position here. Tries to backdash, but RedIAmNot putting themselves on set point. One more good interaction. Gets a big 2P there, or 5P there. Going and gets the clash. I haven't really seen that clash that often. IBFDs coming out from RedIAmNot, and things are just looking so good for them right now. But Lasagna Slayer does have the burst on their side. Big strike throw going in here. Tries to get the gold burst, or tries to get the burst, but only gets the gold burst instead. Big hit gonna happen to burn it down. So much damage. Are we gonna be able to finish it? No, only barely. RedIAmNot has a chance. Gets a big air taunt here. Gonna be able to continue the combo. Gets a hard knockdown. Gets a deflect shield. RedIAmNot doing a great job at controlling neutral here. Really eating down. Now you gotta approach, but not able to. RedIAmNot able to get that tap dust, the yield signature, and is going to grand finals.
That's right, everybody. Coming up next here, losers semifinals of the Jeekly 85. You have Lurry on the Demon Doctor of Faust, Asuka, the Wizard, the creator of the gears here. Let's see what kind of item action, what kind of cubes can control our fates. But a good meteor pull there, gonna stop any of the follow-up from Christian. Coming back to that neutral point, but despite getting a bit of a jail out here, Lurry finds out pushed all the way to the corner, and that first burst already being spent, but no pickup with a combo. Goes to try to stop it a little bit early. A throw PRC as well. Christian Krab just trying to cover the options in case they were wrong on that teleport PRC. And Lurry, despite finding moments to get out of the corner, just finds themselves stuck back in it again.
Exactly, and Lurry's doing such a great job in this neutral, but look at Christian Krab's hand right now. It's 3 blue cubes, and from what I know, that's one of the worst ones that you can get, but there's so little cards in our pool right now. Only 4 left in this test case, and now Lurry gonna be able to get this wall break. I remember a time whenever the wheelchair, the bone crushing excitement didn't wall break, but that's just me, you know, old timer me, you know. But able to get into this next round here. Christian Krab doing a great job at avoiding these items. Going in here, the mini flying in from downtown, making their presence known, but Christian Krab able to have the awareness to get out of the way, get that jump in. The big boy overhead, getting the big hit here, has Screamer locked up, has a bunch of different things in hand, has all the mana, gonna have the positive bonus, but Lurry able to get a big nice here.
Give them a quick haircut. So a great 5 KOS as well, covering that back dish too. You can definitely tell Lurry is ready for any of these defensive options here from Christian. But this route gonna get finished. Not gonna quite kill the Asuka here. Mana bar still healthy enough as well. Definitely excited to see positive bonus working through here for Lurry. Just chooses to set the mini Faust out there, and a meteor toss as well. That's what you want to be seeing. Gonna jump through, make it past the meteors. Burst being spent. The teleport into the PRC grab here. Gonna seal up that first game for Lurry.
Oh my god, and did you see the match arena getting on? There was a big donation. We're now at $134 going to be split amongst all these players, and both of these players right now are fighting for glory. Who ended up donating? I want to be able to thank them. Was it ScaryEsquire?
It was ScaryEsquire.
It was.
So.
Hell yeah. Thank you so
Scary
much,
with the big
Scary.
75 bones. Yeah, love to see it.
Oh, let's go. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Scary. I know that we definitely appreciate it here, and our players will definitely appreciate it. And whoever the winner will be fighting extra hard now, because $134, that's not a bad chunk of change. That's not too bad. I know I'd want it. But going into this next round here.
Yeah, curious to see how this the adjustments will be going into our game 2. Both these characters kind of having to play an awkward version of their neutral when it comes to Faust's ability to fight back on some of these cubes, but then essentially not really being able to press much when Asuka has that speed staff active, and all these great delayed falling options with that test case and mana regen and draw here. Gonna go ahead, snip, 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 get themselves going, push that to the corner, double overhead coming in. When will Christian spend the burst? Not quite yet here. Tries to play a bit of bomb volleyball here with Faust, but Lurry coming out in the best other hand so far. I love this choice to not break the wall, keep Christian stuck there, because they have to absolutely find their best to fight back, and Lurry gonna get that first round.
Oh yeah, going in here, Lurry kind of showing a certain sort of dominance inside of this matchup. We were hearing before how great Faust kind of does into Asuka at certain points, but Christian Krab not giving up, getting a big hit here, having that guard push going and just absolutely running it down in the 6-speed manual transition. But Christian Krab gonna be able to use this super, gonna get the break of the wall, gonna get things going, has the cubes out, goes for the overhead, gets the dug under, but the low gonna end up coming out, and Christian Krab gets a big round there on the board.
Big round indeed. Just like another big donor there by DrNecrotech with 16 bucks to make it a cool, even 150 for our players. So everyone now playing for an even bigger pot as well. So let's see if the players have even noticed or if they're just trying to finish their set at this point. Stay locked in. Locking in with a sniff to sip. IAD, another sniff. Can we do another one? Nope. Gonna go ahead and do the JD this time. Get that fro activated, but the explosion stops the sequence. Run up, throw PRC to make sure it's real, and the deflection, despite trying here, Lurry able to stick on Christian Krab, bring out the wheelchair, and send him to the emergency room. 2-0 for Lurry so far in this set. Christian Krab is gonna have to reverse sweep if they want a chance to get at that pot.
Oh yeah, exactly. And Christian Krab kind of on the back foot here. We've seen them try to kind of change up a little bit of what they're doing, but Lurry is just so locked in right now. Again, as I stated earlier, they have been going on a tear even through pools. I think whenever I look at this point, they were 7-1. So of course they're going to be locked in. They're going to be determined, and Christian Krab definitely has that locked in this too. Getting a big hit here, using that 2D, kind of spacing things out. But Lurry not really wanting to take it, getting a good chance to play that volleyball. Gets behind. What a great jump though, able to get a big counter hit, but no, things aren't exactly able to kind of get going exactly how Lurry wanted. Gotta block now, gotta wait for your time. Got two screamers in the chamber and a staff. Gets the staff up, able to constantly refresh the speed cube. Gonna give us guard crush, gets hit with the overhead, has the cube follow up. Is gonna keep the corner. Doesn't want to spin the meter yet. Now they do. Oh wow, that killed.
Yeah, they kind of purposely chose to route in a way that wouldn't break it earlier. Got a fresh hit, which essentially is going to kind of, rescale that damage. Then I love that choice from Christian. And you see it with Lurry as well. When they have Christian in the corner, is like when you have these characters that you don't necessarily want to have to deal with neutral again, just keep them stuck there, right? Keep them in this corner. If you have the ability to keep the meaties coming in, and these 6Ks from Christian, just keeping them in control. The health bar is so low for Lurry here. A gold burst to give them an option to fight back. Wake gonna clear out the cubes as well and knock down Asuka. Gonna go ahead and get the cheeky Scarecrow side switched as well, pushing Christian through the wall, but still has mana to work with. The mana bar is still active as well. Will they find an opportunity? Gonna just refill the hand for right now. Tried a Scarecrow PRC, but Christian was ready. Threw them out of it as well. And no 3-0 for Lurry here. Christian Krab answering back, putting one on the board, and gonna take us to a game 4.
Exactly. It's said it's been so back and forth. Well, I say it's been so back and forth. Christian Krab finally able to get that awareness to make sure that that Lurry doesn't get away with some stuff for free. I know that it can be very hard for Asuka to deal with some of the things that Faust is able to do, and Lurry is making it look pretty hard to deal with. But Christian Krab kind of locking in, kind of getting that state of mind frame in, and also it really helps whenever you're able to do things like getting that speed staff going, making that guard crush constantly happen, not really letting Lurry able to interact. Let's see if that carries on into this next match.
Indeed. Fresh match means a fresh opportunity, full burst to work with, 2 rounds to drop. It is up to you to find what it takes to upset your opponent, get them under a little more frustrated. But the utilization of this throw here by Lurry was so good on that JK, but fighting out from defense. Christian here gonna likely have to push this Faust through. Actually goes with a bit of a slump setup there. Definitely not a common sequence to run into with Asuka's, but just taking advantage of where to do. But there is the Scarecrow PRC, gonna get the command grab to come through, set up that hair condition, but the pop gonna stop any of the fallout from Christian. Gonna go ahead and RC to keep the combo going as long as we can get the right set. Not a full pickup here, but the blue wall saw into the low and switching to that 5D overhead. Lurry putting themselves here on set point.
I mean, you're one game away from getting into that top 3 position, able to fight for a chance at grand finals. But look at the way we're dealing with these cubes. So incredibly smart by Lurry. And now Christian Krab has to navigate around everything. The bomb's gonna explode, letting us get back in. Kind of going for that super jump, throwing down the bag, getting something happening here. But the 2D gonna come out from Christian Krab. Thou shall not pass stance in the face. Gonna be able to redo some meter, but wow, these cubes are being dealt with so efficiently. Neutral is so clean from both of these characters. Look at the cube to block the hammer strike. Oh, that was clean.
And Christian taking advantage there of that 2PRC to get just some mana back here. Lurry finds a good push in the corner, but a great JD to get it started out. But the burst being immediately spent, sends it with the Scarecrow follow-up then. Great wall stick with the hole-in-one, pushing Christian through the wall. No tension on either side to work with right yet, but positive bonus to work in the favor of Lurry, but able to get a throw into the RC. I think as long as we can finish our food here, it should be a dead Faust, and Christian holding on in this set here, taking us to round 3, making Lurry absolutely have to work for it then, but didn't have to come out from that burst so far.
Exactly, and now the Mini Faust is on the field. We're on such low mana for Christian Krab, though. Mini Faust walking away. Now he's got to back onto the screen, kind of making a little shimmy attempt here. The math, the mid burst coming in clutch here. Lurry able to kind of save themselves, but the throw ends up getting baited. Christian Krab on offense here, going for the fuzzy setup. What an incredible grab. Has the meter to continue the combo, and now gets the wall stick. Christian Krab maybe on the verge of getting a reverse sweep.
There we have it, y'all. Another game 5 for what we called and what we wanted here. Not getting a chance to see it earlier, now getting to see it. 2 sets here from that loser side. The winner of this will get a bit of that sweet, sweet pot. Shout out to everyone donating tonight. We all really appreciate it. The players appreciate it as well. And your reward for winning this set is fighting a Goldlewis and then another Goldlewis. So I hope you have that matchup ready and figured out. But Christian getting off to a great start, had a great hand with the speed staff active. The screamers are coming in here. Lurry has had basically not even a chance to press the button. No meter to work with a great reversal throw to stop Christian Krab's offense.
And now Lurry able to get this mix-up going. Goes in for the snip. Gonna have to go in there. Maybe try to go for a fake setup. Had the ability to break the wall. No mana on the side of Christian Krab, and Lurry able to turn things around so fast. From their back to the corner, from almost getting reverse swept, now putting themselves on set point, showing that they still have the drive after everything that they've had to go through in the pool stage, and now trying to get something going again. The Screamer gonna be a great anti-air option. The Speed Cube gonna stop us from letting them get everything out. The overhead gonna come in, but what a great reversal throw from Christian Krab. Gonna be able to get some mana going for another throw. Gonna be able to get something started once again. Gets the wall stick. Lurry has no resources on their side except for a little bit of burst. Getting sent into the air. What a conversion by Christian Krab. All the meter in the world. Gonna send through the wall. One more interaction away for Christian Krab to take this round. Gets the overhead. Gets the tap dust. We're on final game. Final round.
Wouldn't have it any other way from our players in the top 4 spot. A great burst bait there by Christian Krab, being so ready to cover all of your options. Nothing worse than getting a full mana bar back for Faust there, as well as putting through the wall with that super. This would be an uphill battle from Lurry if they can find the way. A great block on that 5D, holds up, gets that JD, immediate burst back from Christian, and that's not left his pressure. They know if they can keep Lurry stuck in here. Oh, and the green cube actually swipes out the air, love from the sky. As long as we can put Faust through the wall, this should be enough to do it. It is. And Christian Krab gonna take it, reverse sweeping Lurry 3-2. But guys, we are getting right into it. Our players are ready. We are getting in to losers finals here. We have Lasagna Slayer on the Goldlewis, Christian Krab on the Asuka. Absolutely running a tear through this loser side here so far, and a great combo to get us started and get themselves in the positive bonus.
I would like to remind you all that it was RedIAmNot that sent Christian Krab to loser's side, so maybe he had a chance to go through those notes, kind of get back and watch that gameplay to see what they can do if they have to fight another. Goldlewis once again tries to go for the burst bait. Things don't exactly work out in the hand. Not looking so great right now. Nothing but cubes, no way to interact. IBFDs end up happening. 100-meter on the side of Lasagna Slayer, but can't convert the hit. Gets a big counter hit, and Christian Krab ends up falling. That momentum not exactly transferring so far. Going for a big 6B here to start things out. Trying to play neutral, kind of backing up, and gets a big clip with those green cubes, Gideon.
Yeah, these green cubes putting in absolute ton of work here. Great dash blocking. Not gonna cause Christian Krab to get clipped by that Skyfish here, but you tried to make space after a whip spell just to walk into another one. Then this is very much the fighting Asuka classic, is just him taking advantage of you trying to move forward and adjusting the spells accordingly if they have it. But a bookmark super gonna come in, sets up 3 Galaxy Cubes, but definitely have to be able to get a hit to get it started. As good as his hand could feel, if you can't cast it, definitely not where you want to be. And as long as we finish into the super, it should connect. Game 1 here going to Lasagna Slayer.
You know, Christian Krab was trying to manage those resources at round start, freezing the game, letting them kind of get something started. But Lasagna Slayer are doing such a great job at playing around it, not letting them use these spells and kind of just swinging that coffin around, making that UMA shake around inside of it. But great things from both these players so far. But Christian Krab has already been down once, just completed a reverse sweep, so losses don't really mean much to them here. Lasagna Slayer's not done until they see 3 on that side of the scorecard.
Yeah, definitely curious to see if the momentum just continues to go in Lasagna's way, or if Christian can kind of find what they need, find the right sequence, put in the right layers of mix. And I have to say, Christian Krab has been bringing a lot of these fuzzy overhead setups, and I can imagine they'll be seeing this, especially against these tall characters in the likes of the Faust and the Goldlewis. But a great IAD back into that JS to bait out that throw here. Christian just looking so good. There it is again, taking advantage of that JK normal here. Definitely good, but oh, pulls off right off the corner here. Christian finds himself pushing that corner, but a great jump. This Ace in time said, baits out the super. Depending on the route, this could be enough to put this Goldlewis in the wall, which should be enough to do it. It is. What a sick combo from Christian there to get the screen push, carry them over, and take out that first round.
That combo was insane. Christian Krab digging into their bag of tricks for this one. Gonna make that pressure start. Got the speed staff at the other end of the screen. Gonna get a big conversion. And we've seen Christian Krab doing jigs all day long. Gonna get that hard knockdown. Gets the overhead. Lasagna Slayer kind of in a bad spot right now, but has burst. Only has what's to their name is the burst. The tension, the security meter, the tension, or the shirt on their back. Able to get out though. YRC is gonna do a lot of big stuff for us here. Gonna try and get us another breath at life. Not letting things happen. Recycling the cubes. The White Wild Assault gonna give us a push in. This is exactly the kind of hit we need. Doesn't want to let Lasagna Slayer get anything started. This damage can snowball so quickly, but getting a deflect shield here, but oh! Oh, what a big behemoth typhoon to get a giant counter hit.
Hey, you know what? Once again, as someone who despises Asuka, I do feel bad watching this character try to function without a good hand. That hand that Christian had to work with in that last round was so bad. They would have essentially had to luck out, press in the perfect moment, be able to even get the ability to set up better cubes, better sequences, but that round is not getting Christian Krab thrown off. Going here as well, pushing Lasagna through the wall with the super wall break, but this route is continuing to go here, but burst into burn down. Great teleport into the throw. The animation is long enough for it to pass through the 5D RC to seal it, and Christian Krab answers back in game 2, 1 apiece.
Wow. so insane there from Christian Krab to kind of lock in, use those different abilities to interact and kind of switch up how we're going with it. But you know, I'm just getting to love to watch this. I don't get to see Asuka top level gameplay that often, so when I do, man, is it a treat. And especially how Christian Krab's kind of treating it with these fuzzy setups, with this ability to switch those test cases and constantly be enforcing that win conditioning game plan. It's so awesome to see.
Definitely seems to be one of the best Asukas to do it right now, but a great jump in air behemoth from Lasagna to get started, get that burst out of Christian already. When Lasagna's in that burst, immediate burst, answering back as well. Great Skyfish, gonna get that hard knockdown, but a 2P RC to keep the sequence going. Oh my god, the fuzzy overhead setup with the air screamer. The cards are rolling out. 5D RC to keep it going. Chooses not to break the wall, knowing that it wasn't gonna kill. Lasagna cannot fight out despite the 6P attempt, and Christian Krab just keeps it coming. Lasagna just feeling lost there.
Dude, Christian Krab is putting on a clinic right now, but Lasagna Slayer wants to step in and interject, not to be outdone. The JH doesn't exactly work how we wanted. The Behemoth Typhoon gonna kind of eliminate one of those cubes, but you gotta use all of your security gauge to be able to do it. PRC with the 6P, kind of letting things get in, uses the Wild Assault to switch into the corner, regains the meter, has the cubes up, going into the super, trying to get a better hand, trying to read and consider things, getting things going. You kind of have to block for so long here, constantly going in for these lows, for these specials. Lasagna Slayer kind of having to wear out that block button right now. Down back and up back are feeling so hard to let go of at this point. You can't interact. You tried. You had so much risk, but all the meter is on Christian Krab's side. The only thing they don't have is health to back it up. Tension, burst. Things are going so well for Christian Krab right now, trying to get a continued pace. Has the hit, but not able to finish it. The air taunt gonna come out and happen. What a able to kind of get things going, and we see that air to ground conversion once again, but drops the combo. Has another bait coming right after it though. All 3 levels don't end up working, but the PRC lets us go forward. The YRC ends up hitting, and Lasagna Slayer holds on to their life and doesn't let Christian Krab get another game on board. Oh, that was nasty.
You love to see this level of defense at this kind of level of players here. Christian Krab taking advantage again of that slump option to get a bit mana back, get those cards filled. Not the best cubes to work with, and the Behemoth there at that neutral wall break, showing you why. 2K gonna clip, keep themselves going in the sequence. But a great run-up throw by Christian here. Gonna go ahead and give themselves a chance to get some of that mana back. Immediately sending into the bookmark super, trying to dig through test case 3 to find the best sequences. But the Screamer gets started. Go immediately into the super for the wall break. Not gonna have to interact with the burn it down here. Sets up the big cube speed staff again to work with. This is definitely where you want to be if you're Christian. The cars coming through with the burst, gonna stop that as well. Backdashing to not even have to deal with the cube, and does a delay jump over JK on the side switch, just to see if Lasagna was willing to press something. The layers that these players are playing at right now is so damn high. You love to see what these players are thinking of. The I know that you know that I know that you want to do this thing, and so I'm going to give you one of the oddest hits to get ourselves going. Answer back that game 3, and Christian Krab is up 2-1. One more game to get that run back against RedIAmNot. But Lasagna Slayer, you know they're also trying to get that run back as well. Both these players going down to RedIAmNot from that winner side.
Oh, exactly. You know, I love that this is the thing I ended up getting autism about. But going into the rest of this combo here, Christian Krab showing the excellence of this character, what Speed Staff can do. You get reset, has to burst out of it, doesn't want to take the hard knockdown. but gets hit with the drone, has a super to give return for, has to FD it. The guard crush still ends up happening, refreshing a little bit of meter, trading out these spells, gets the wall bounce from the Screamer, uses the opportunity to get a little bit more mana and just force this advantage. Fuzzy setup. You can only block for so long when Christian Krab is after you. Gonna be getting you with those pinchers, with the cubes, with the overhead. Gonna end up getting the hit, but able to outrun to burn it down, but not entirely. Lasagna Slayer gets the jump over, tries to go for the backbreaker, but Christian Krab is aware, goes for the fuzzy, goes for a little bit of a shimmy, wimmy, uses that movement, jumps over it with the Screamer, puts themselves on set point.
That was navigated so well. These choices that Christian Krab is making essentially just kind of does not open themselves up to get like oopsied by Goldlewis, and you cannot let this character rob you of the work you put in to keep him boxed in. Great 6P on that behemoth airbase attempt here, but the sequence never ending. Great 6P on the ground to mash Alfmir, but a backdash BRC forward, get a charge dust, tries to bait out the burst, does not get it from Lasagna. I feel like at this point, if you're ahead, you should have just gotten for the burst bait at this point. His positive bonus could have been on your side. Does not quite hit the JK on landing. There's an air hit, so does not continue the sequence. No mana to work with. It's going to be a tough option to fight out. And speaking of a fuzzy overhead themselves, Lasagna answering back, taking us to round 3.
Exactly, this kind of situation, you have to be on your air game, getting that IB there, but what a 5P anti-air from Christian Krab, not letting Lasagna Slayer get a free jump in, using these cubes, using that guard crush to their advantage, constantly looping these spells and not letting Lasagna Slayer have a chance to interact, but what a big 2P, calling out that jump back shimmy, not letting a Christian Krab get away with it, but finally able to get the pressure started, goes for the YRC, has more spells in the binder, gets the deck, reshuffles, draw 5 from hand to turn. I use Pot of Greed to summon cubes from my deck. I use the back jump JS to try and not let things happen, having so much stamina, or not stamina, having the resources, the 2P. Lasagna Slayer's on such low health, gets a final hit, drops the combo, doesn't end up working, has the air taunts, letting things happen, has the PRC to keep themselves safe, but the air grab coming out from Christian Krab was at one point on the ropes, able to get this and go fight RedIAmNot in grand finals.
Absolutely, guys. We are here. We have made it. Jeekly 85 Grand Finals is about to get on our way. RedIAmNot, the Goldlewis behemoth themselves. Christian Krab here, definitely in Asuka affairs. A lot of folks talk about Asuka in a pretty negative light, but I feel like watching someone at this caliber, it is not hard to be a fan. The ability to pilot this character with all the unique setups, using these cubes, keeping the pressure going, and this game here only started 15 in-game seconds ago, and Red's already blinking life bar.
Exactly. Christian Krab just has this ability to kind of do this perfect sequencing in any kind of situation, from pressure to combos and routing, really showing us what this character can do whenever you put enough effort into them. Going for the fuzzy setup, but RedIAmNot not afraid to match out even with this low of health. Going for these dash cancels, trying to keep things going. So little mana on the side of Christian Krab. The shield ends up breaking, has the combo from the bounce, but able to get things forward. Christian Krab takes one lick, but always fights back. We've seen it twice. Lost the first game, lost the first round, gonna continue to be playing here. Goes in for the low, maybe thinking that they could try and get a bait in with that throw. The White Wild Assault gonna allow us to get in. Gets the wall bounce. Things are gonna get so high damage. Look at all that red stacking up on the health bar. Level 3 super gonna be able to break the wall, and that's a easily 70% combo. Jesus.
Yeah, no 2PRC this time. Christian Krab getting so much value out of that in their earlier sets as well, but Red gonna go ahead, find the right sequence, get the hit, route into that FRC for a second meaty behemoth there, answering that first game. And, you know, Christian Krab, despite being all of them in that first round, they essentially, one good hit from Red was all it took to get them there, but Red just so comfortable navigating, not overextending too much. Hits that 2S into the behemoth to seal it up. But, you know, Christian Krab definitely showing that they can bounce back, despite was able to reverse sweep at least one of their sets earlier here. So, you know, definitely would not be surprised to see them power through. But RedIAmNot looking on fire, only dropping one game at most during their run so far tonight.
Yeah, that takes a lot of dedication and matchup knowledge, which they've easily been showing here. Christian Krab able to best Lasagna Slayer, but gets a big burst bait here out of RedIAmNot. Getting that speed stab, doing this chip damage, kind of giving Goldlewis a taste of his own medicine from what he did in seasons past, and RedIAmNot's kind of feeling it. But what a great 6P, able to interact here, not letting Christian Krab get anything started. But Christian Krab finds a way, uses that burst, doesn't let RedIAmNot have any momentum, but RedIAmNot is able to get it anyways, able to go for that. The super ends up coming out, gonna end up trading, but being on the winning end of that trade, Christian Krab is in a great spot here.
/ actually clipping the Screamer startup there from Christian Krab. Pretty surprised to see it there. Maybe a slight delay on that spell, but that works out more. We'll see what's, but the overheads just keep coming, and we are already done with the first round in about 13 seconds. I just checked the second stream. My God, if you can make this character's mana bar disappear, he absolutely falls apart. But Christian here, one bad backdash now, getting sent all the way through the corner, and Lovely connected. It is dead. I had a feeling. Back-to-back perfects there. Holy shit. That game was over in like a minute.
I might be losing some channel points, chat.
Goldlewis wins.
An absolute speed run from here. And like all it was is, like I said, Christian Krab has shown such strong defensive choices here, very rarely making the wrong choice on defense, even if a fuzzy match is winning. But one backdash is all it takes for have it all fall apart. RedIAmNot up 2-0. One more game will make them the Jeekly 85 champion.
And Christian Krab is definitely trying their best to fight back, being confident, going straight into this game. The White Wild Assault gonna end up catching us, tries to go for a 5P or 6P, whatever it is, and ended up trading. Gets the back throw, has the spells inside of the hand, has the low, gonna be able to get the combo, get the dash cancel, get the meter to continue that mana up, using these resources the best we possibly can. We've seen what RedIAmNot can do with a single hit, a single chance, gets the tap dust, has the meter, uses the special, goes for the break, and now we get our pressure. But hold on now, there's 50 meter on the side of RedIAmNot with a little bit of burst. Things can go either way here. We're unironically with how much meter is left, we were in a one-hit situation, but Christian Krab able to claw back, show that they still have fight left in them.
Definitely great to see that they're not feeling the pressure. They said they have been here before. They have been down 2 games and at least 1 set tonight, so no stranger to this sequence. But gonna have put Red through the wall. Not a hard knockdown. This has to kind of play out that neutral. Good backdash off of that BRC forward on the 2K to make it whip. Gonna get some mana back, send them through the wall with the cube. Super hard knockdown again. But there is meter to work against on Red side. There is the burst. Tension as well, but a whiffed butt into the PRC / get it started. Overhead coming in, no full combo off of the drone, but a throw into the RC. Wallace out the strip out the burst, but did not get a full pickup. This might actually be a dead Christian Krab. It is, and Red, despite going down to barely any life back, gets an answer back and is putting themselves on set point.
I mean, and did you see how absolutely positive they were going to win that round? Didn't even use burst, still has it for this round, uses the Skyfish to be able to get that hard knockdown, run up from full screen, regardless, has no meter, has no burst, but uses that gold burst to get the positive bonus. We've seen Goldlewis do it once before. We've seen RedIAmNot win Jeeklies before and is able to close it out. No grand finals reset. Both these players played so hard, but RedIAmNot is your Jeekly 85 champion.
Y'all, we are going to be wrapping up here. That has been the Jeekly 85. We're going to be getting up to a raid here shortly. Put some love out to the community out there. Hope you guys have had a great rest of your night. I know I have, and we will see you for the next Jeekly number 86.